influence rage, but abstract. I'm hearing the talk online. The grapevine says Group A is stacked. Group A is the group to be, or the group not to be in.
It's scary, right? Because when it comes down to them, that we have Team Falcons, and we are not strangers to Team Falcons, right? Being the 2024 club champion and all. But aside from them, we have Rare Adam, we have Legion Esports, and even the Mongols.
Familiar faces, familiar names. Maybe we are going to be seeing some shakeups in their official team lineup, but we are going to get to that very, very soon. Because before that, we want to talk about what changed from the last time we saw the wildcards last time around. So after this, we'll get a sneak peek into the tournament format. And that's where things get quite interesting. I think you guys mentioned it a little bit more. Essentially, you guys got to win 2 times in a row. Try not to lose 2 times in a row if you guys want to get that one slot into the group stages.
Okay, is everything fine,
here
everyone?
it is, 8 teams.
Hello, welcome back to the
divided
stream.
over 2 groups. The groups A.
This is me, your brother Kiwi.
And it will be a G.
And I hope you all enjoy the game, guys.
Yep, it's basically winners face
This is
winners,
MSC.
losers face losers. You follow the same
EWC.
of win 2, lose 2.
Let's go, everyone, let's go.
End up in the group stage.
Ma'am, lo yaar, bro.
16 teams.
Is everything
5
fine?
to get
Is
out of
everything
that
working
group
fine?
again, which is a
Lema okay with, bro.
You could just
Hot
write
bra,
down a piece
mama.
of paper, pass it on to the next team.
I'm the check those, you guys. I'm the check those.
I mean, when it comes on a group stage, having double elimination is definitely something a little bit more used to. I mean, wildcards is technically the double elimination as well. at the
Comment
start.
kat lang pa, Dara.
Either way, when we move on over to the playoff, that's when the single elimination best of 5 then happens. So it's going to be long packed day once we reach the playoffs.
Yeah, bro.
So, wildcards, we should have around 4 matches a day.
Yep.
But whatever happens, whatever stacks that we're going to be looking at, and of course,
Why
all
do
that
you Facebook so anymore, yara ba?
build up is going to add up because of this. Look at that prize pool, ladies and gentlemen, a total prize pool of $3 million. If we go to the bottom side,
Ay, di yara mo, mali ko,
what
guys.
you guys are looking at up on screen right now, wildcard prize pool total $236,000.
Almost $250,000 on the line just for this tournament alone. 4 days of.
Okay.
The wildcard is a more relaxed way of qualifying into MSC, but no, this is pretty high stakes. I'll tell you now. At the end of today, teams already have a feeling of I might go home tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that plus the fact that it's a difference between $30,000 and 50.
Mut ka ba?
That's a long ways out. But,
It's a long way, but hey, one can dream, one can achieve, right?
True.
At this point in time, whenever they are here in Riyadh, they're already guaranteed money. So as much as you get some money already, you wouldn't want to stop at the bottom.
I was gonna take that edge as well. I was like, you want to be glass half empty, I'll be glass half full. No matter what happens today, they're gonna.
Yeah, bro, guys.
And how often do you get to fly out to beautiful Riyadh, Saudi
Exactly.
Arabia, right? To be part of the prestigious Esports World Cup.
Especially you get
Layout keep
more
pussy there.
experience on the world
Siyempre,
stage.
yeah,
I
bro.
know a
Mang
lot
me, bro,
of
mang, bro.
new players, especially coming in from respective regions, who might
Yeah, bro,
not be
mang,
as
mut pa-
accustomed
mut
to
pa-
the
mut pa-
international
mut
stage, will bring something
liba lang.
home. The fact that they've touched and landed on this amazing stage is already something that they
Yep.
can bring home with them.
This is a great preliminary stage as well, right? If they do have some jitters going on about, this is where they kind of shake it all off.
Yeah,
and
bro,
if
yeah,
they
bro.
manage to make it over to the group stages, boy, they're very experienced.
Okay,
what it
amma
feels like
do,
to be in
yeah,
the
bro,
professional
do
field.
kano to
Once
bagi.
they go over
See
to
the
the
full
group
screen
stages,
way bagi.
yeah, they're done.
Full
They
screen
know
way
what they're
tagadi
doing.
yada
They're
neba.
not scared anymore.
Yeah, in just a bit, you guys are going to see the stage, and boy, oh boy, what a stage
Mangre,
it is.
yeah, sheme.
I agree. We're gonna touch on that a little bit sooner, but again, it's not just bragging rights that they're gonna be taking home.
Okay.
It's not just the prize pool that they're going to be taking home as well, because of course, for those of you guys who tuned in to EWC
Yeah, bro, sure,
last
yeah, bro.
year, you know that there's a unique
I think everything should be fine.
system that is out there.
Fa
available
muli,
for
yeah,
these
ba.
teams
Is everything fine
to
now?
compete with. So with that, we do have a
Yeah,
little
bro,
bit
sure, di
of
mo lang, bro.
information on that. So let's check it out together. Or not. Maybe we're waiting a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta smooth things in.
Game,
Like, notice
game
the
sound,
stats.
the game, comment naman, ay, malo iyan, even guys, like, is everything fine now? Mut pa kot pa fagra ba? Mut ka ba mo?
Dude, they're purposely doing this, right?
Mut
They're
ka ba
doing
mo?
the
Mut ko,
tests
mut ko.
at homes, like,
Yan, yan.
okay, Eterna, Leo,
Moy masagi mo chab do na taba.
what's going on here?
Ay isay tigi di mo lang mo da. Yarba. Moy ma change to bugi pagpok mamma do na taba. Adu na tanadi mutre ko. Okay, here we go. Welcome back everyone. I get live stream I wangang bukod pa everything. Lo yara ba? Okay. Among tore adu moy masagi ne. Kano gine ba moy masagi adu na. Hajik ko ina di ay na hajik ha badalo everything. Everything okay. Guys, adagi game gi sound, adagi ay gi sound. Kamay tau ba? Mut da. Ingon da hajik fo gide. Mut rana.
Only one can place their key into the game
Di
zone
mo ne. Mut
and
pe
become
ne.
an EWC champion. The frame of the champion's key is embedded into the totem, a stone marker of legacy displaying every champion of the year. The keys of the eliminator.
Masagi, hajik fo gide ay won da di mut tri yung ko moy gi sin change no mo tam da mut pa da adu na ta na.
A reminder.
Ay na ha da mut pre yung.
Beneath the totem, a
Mutre
red
ka.
rock holds the
Sorry,
remaining
kayo na
a graveyard of fallen contenders.
Ma'am, share ka to sense.
Your dreams
Siya ko yung kano doon ba?
name carved in golden stone. At
Ako yung
EWC, nothing is
ano to?
granted.
Official Restream ako yung Saudi Arabia da huzik tawriba ako yung tournament to. Ako yung World Cup MSC at EWC 2025 World Cup Day 1 niko.
Too soon?
Ma'am, share kaya ang toksen se, mucho mula maroy. Sound jo ay nangamos mo nangamos dun sa mana na dun plotar ba.
Very own key.
I can't back
So,
it later.
imagine that, besides the
Yeah,
6,000
So everything fine.
for the wild card,
Subsaro.
the chance to have your own trophy and threshold to be part of that system. The key.
Yaro. Everything fine, everything fine. Okay, Tarek, all okay. Gaming dar si to din. Wala bing daras. Mo gi sound among tadri si de mo na ni ko guys. Sidi ay na nati ko
Is it are going
masagi
to be,
ni.
you know, contested later on, especially we talked about the prize pool, we talked about the trophy.
Game
They're
ga hora si
also
to ka tadar.
here to bring,
Ya si dai.
what would you call it, valor? Is that
Ay,
the right
yung-
term?
ay,
Valor
liang
to
aro
the
like, tas ka.
club.
Prestige.
Prestige to the club, right? And the coolest thing about that is these clubs are spread across different game titles.
Yep.
So the farther you go up the ladder in your respective title, the more points that this club gets. And I think it was last year that it was Falcons
Oh yeah.
who got that first point position
By a landslide.
by landslide. So we'll see who is going to be actually.
What is
able to get
all
this
about,
right
bro?
now.
It's about the Esport World Cup that's happening in Saudi Arabia right now.
The club point system.
Ma'am, Facebook isu share toksen si ko yara gadi ma'am share kayam toksen biramo bada ma'am na nuksi biduna share kayam toksen biramo aduga wanga mo khot batasi ado moina ai da hindi da mi sound yaw da bida oina to handira aduga English na mo nga na si moina wanga mo si tahan da bida ai nang nangang ga do ribra ha ba de ai gyan ta dre ko ado yengas Hello, Punsi. Welcome, bro. Lakpiro guys, may ang laksan na ro. Ako isay tienda galera me. Galaman niye. Facebook ta sumayam yeng si he, YT ta sumayam yeng si. Sige. Tawdara ka do mayam siyo. Prize pool yun eh. Prize pool ma'am yo. Esport World Cup ne tàu gì xí cái yaw phang anh bro ma'am as này là ni he.
Esports World Cup
Ma'am so inga maka doon ne si
this time around, we're gonna see exactly which team will be able to make it to the top because did a fact check. Falcons won and brought home $7 million.
Ne ma le mathak ma'am mula ka doon ne. Ado ma'am share ka tàu xin like nam je. They like share tàu ram mo ko.
Winning the war.
Like share tàu
and
the
not
diaro go
necessarily every
guys.
single battle. Because again, as per the rules, you
Ako
gotta
badam pun
qualify
sito
at
ka
the
daw
top
rage. What happened?
of the several different games
Kaya
you
po,
qualify in. Yeah, and then that adds up into your club total. Right. And this year, again, we'll see who gives Team Falcons a run for the money because Team Falcons is actually opening up.
At this point in time, I think that almost every single game we might have just seen a team.
Share hung kita ngai di like 21 kita ngai di ako chinaw kay daw rage. World Cup ying sai aga pdat na ra adam ne ojek ta rai taw dana.
Alright.
Ako yo YT da la piru ma'am so thank you Facebook tin biru ma'am so thank you.
Still in the wild card.
Singa da ra kay tayeng da ra sa game je kra khai ka na
Get to that point. So we might be
See,
taking a
I'm
look
gonna
at the
do it.
groups once
Okay.
again here.
So, yeah,
Just to remind you, we have 4 matches ahead of us, all in a
Samsara.
best of 3. And we are going to be seeing our
Ano,
first 2
option,
matches
option
from
there,
Group
dahil
A
may check
and
lang
our
kanina.
next 2 matches from Group B.
Yep.
Let's talk about dark horses before we get into our first match.
For sure.
So when it comes down to the dark horses, I definitely gotta have to say
Yung
that
Darcy.
we have seen Zeta.
Tausan siya. Thank you, Badam Marin.
They play
Badam
a
Marin,
very
Badam Marin Mills.
entertaining, They play a very.
Ay, comment loy, uy, comment ko, loy, padara ka din ko. Moy mo kon na di hongman taw na tra. Ay, ngang mo dam taw na tra. Lao ngang dra ka so. Na tra ka mo yung song na yam ho ra
It's
yung.
been a long time ago.
Yeah.
Ngasi di,
And then
ngasi
very
hayeng
shortly
hangsit.
after,
Si World Cup
they
so na tharak ka doy ni ko live
for
siya.
the play-ins in M2.
Si Yam Sang ya haba.
They also
Ang
were
tada yaro
on the
din haba.
end of Carl TC Savage on the Lancelot. I missed it by a second. It happened so fast. I was calling the match. I can't believe it. I think my partner at the time had to say, "Is that a Savage? Is that a Savage?" Like, it's one of those moments. So yeah, no. I'm sorry.
Ay, nasa
Share
badam yam
the
na isala si.
like, the pros and cons of
Stream
playing out of
kuy na
Japanese
nito ko doy
league.
si. May mutpida ba live from si guys.
When it comes down to 2025 now, you said mentioned a little half a decade, close to half a decade.
Yep.
If whether that is going to change for Zeta Division, do they have the same kind of play style or?
Si de
do they
Mitchell ka
change
ni.
entirely?
That's
Ano
a big
option kaya?
question. A lot of big questions, and I think even us casters, before we got into today, we were discussing back at home. What are we
Don, thank you,
expecting
thank
from
you.
Zeta Division? Are we going to see the
Yara
same
yara
kind
gaming
of
da si Sedo di.
color coming from them? You know, the unorthodox drafts, the unorthodox plays. It's going to be quite interesting, and thankfully so, we are going to be seeing them play today as we take a look at
Oh my
today's
God.
schedule. Let's
Si
check
mga
that
ay na
out.
ngasay na si Tana ho na big yang wai kang bra.
For the 4 matches, right?
Live set um tatlo live gini guys.
Earlier on, and here it
Live set um
is.
tatlo live.
Up first, we have
Shame ni
Team
haba.
Falcons Mena versus Rare Adam to open things up here in the wild cards. Match number 2 will have Legion
Mitch
as
ini.
well as the Mongols.
Mitch pa ni na.
Third up,
Yadre
we
ni
have
thada ba.
Zeta Division
Oh,
and
yes.
Influence Rage.
Amok la ke dukan thu gi brother. Okay brother Marines.
Versus
Yay.
Esports.
Game yang dara se duga kamay na to. We have to mayam pun na ta yeng mina se
After
mayam.
that, I'd say that's a marquee matchup. You want to watch the Vietnamese
Falcon nga
versus
Are ga live
the
ka.
Mongolians.
Rare
This
tom
is
ga.
a rivalry
Ade
that
LZ ga
makes
MCL
it's been
Jed,
about 2 years
Jeta
now.
ga
For those who
Reese,
don't know,
VP
there
ga
are
NM ga.
times
Asa ko
where
si
the
Orma di
divisions
ko.
actually bump into each other.
Boy like hey, but the situation draw. Welcome but the Pai Kumba Sula
A
kre.
lot of stories between
Ato pa na kana lang na ya.
the rest of the Mongols actually playing against each other, building a little friendly relationship on
have
the
tea.
ladder. Oh, it's far from tea. It's far from tea. It's more of lost stars.
Okay.
between the two of them. So yeah, no, I would love to see them face off in a best of 3 for arguably the largest stakes that they've ever had in both of their careers right now. Qualification into the group stage.
I want to know though, what are your favorite match that you want to watch today out of these 4?
You're a Zeta fan. I want to see the Mongols versus Legion.
I want to see Virtus Pro.
You want to see this, bro? Oh.
EWC hai meaning se Esport World Cup hai ni ko.
The wild cards.
Oh, for reals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tos.
What was that okay?
No. Yeah,
I know this guy.
I feel cornered. All right,
Moses.
you're second guessing my okay, and you're asking me my prediction or my favorite match.
I want to know, you know, I just want to know.
What are you tayo tao lang yun eh?
All right,
It's all about curiosity.
Ha?
the Abs of Renman Santa Cruz. I am a Falcons guy.
All right.
Kanina po ka dapat dun tao ro.
I put it on paper, ladies and gentlemen, that Falcons.
Ay di oren live lo da pong ani humta ni maragta kay kinu kasara da yaro si Restream ni na.
Troll,
Ay lite.
Sano.
Pong ani hum pong ay horen pong ani humta ba ay pra long stream ni ba de.
6-man, they moved over the
Like
big
that.
brother Tarzan, but as well, they got a new coach.
Late ye simbagi.
So much hype surrounding Coach Ducky
Like
here.
they have a-
And even
Y'all
without
the
Coach
Beanie.
Ducky, this has been a team that has consistently made it to the international stage.
Ah, but the main line namjin si Shedok san si ko makata ba game matu ko enjoy tong na ba.
They have the most experience as compared to, unfortunately, their opponent today.
So theoretically speaking, on paper, Team Falcons should be able to kind of smash it for the wildcards, right? But
Supposedly.
but they're going up against Rare Adam though. We do have Down, Lanaya, Powerful, Cat9, and Mikey, Dawn, sorry. So
Na si di ma'am stream di am ko ina ta do ni henoy ba.
I'm pretty
And
sure.
Ryzen.
E ko ina ta da yaro si di.
Coach,
Ah si di pra long stream mo ga dori ba ni si di.
Don't cry.
Wa ni tayo.
I'm just gonna cry in my room.
Ha?
I'm not too sure
Taba
exactly
ho
what
re,
to expect out of
taba
Rare Adam at
ni.
this point in time, right? Because when it comes down
Sinama
to
ni, taba ni yung
plus
sinama
China,
mo.
the Chinese,
Hello,
there's
Never Bomber Channel. Welcome to the stream. Asmiggy mi ani humda mi kia normal ta horok tadi energy yauro roi si
against a well-coordinated team like
asing way ni na hey
I like that you mentioned that because there has
Facebook
been some
saksa ni ore
serious around
saksa ta ko maya tu ni na nga do
because
Facebook ta kana kana lage Facebook ki jo mi ja handare aina mai kano jo khung tha bai ra kaino moi sa sa hawdi fa da ne sang na nga lai gre moi su ba da restream moi ba gine horam dai gine do gine okay chitra nga se pam sula kre hello welcome to the stream.
They went all the way against Yaofeng Yaoguai, who is sitting pretty in the group stage, waiting for
hello ni ru
the
guys
possible grand rivals to come up.
like nam zalo share tok salo view su yaman na ba tau se me official restream da ba ji da bo
Show us that maybe
mi view ka na tau se aina sana ba di he na moi ne na ti na ina sana ra ka di se
a part of me thinks that maybe this is a sweep, right? A 2-0, but I think Rare Adam, I hear voices a lot, like not in a weird way, like in a conversation.
I hear voices.
Yeah, no, like in conversation.
Do you need
Like, you have
No, in conversation.
or-
Like a lot of people are saying, hey, you better watch out for the Chinese. Like Chinese
Hoy
MVP,
tom
just like
ting
Chinese
guys
sports,
dale
is well developed. Like when they decide
sing the
to focus on
set ni
something,
ba
they
di
wanna-
manung
they wanna
sina
do good, they wanna
pena
excel.
jing fong moi
But
do ri
in
da
this
hai
case,
as do
Rare
ri
Adam,
chumba
I don't think they're
si
there.
akhoi no skip to
But
ko
maybe
su ya de
they-
bro
They proved to us that hey,
adana maram moi
we
ra
are
ga
here now.
masai ge
We
khoi na
are
kana tau da ya da bai ne ba
Because I don't think
Masla do
anyone
ina dum tau
really,
se chicken
you know,
mi gi ga
predicted
sa
that
ning
Rare
de
Adam would be the ones to come here to
mahi yam lang da bi da ka
represent that region.
tor nap li no ni da
Right, usually we see from the Chinese region it being KBG or DFYG.
yeah.
title even.
view ya man se ba da me view ya man se line nam jan se share dok san je do ga ai je dum pham ga me am entertain tau de ni me am comment pa da na khot na da ge ngang da ro khana
against the home team.
you pa ma saksar bo gai nuai zari dum nuai boy ya ina ba ni do mai wari thana le ro dona
Well,
pak
you
sai
know what to expect coming in. We do have, you know, kind of.
hello atopa ga kana khana lai ge atopa su comment dum pisalo ga like nam zalo first match ho ga do re first match se moi ge ngasi match mari ne lai je moi best of 3 nga to ro ngone ya ba du zo
Pretty good shot against.
I chang chang na ne ha ba lai je
Complacent.
You know what?
Wadi
I'm
wadi
gonna
ne ba da
represent my girl,
Yeah,
Michelle. Alright, and I'm gonna go Rare
okay
Adam.
Facebook ki mi yang kai su za la khre atopa khoi mete mi sa yeng bi bi chino me am na di like share talk sin ji ko khoi India da ki su Manipur da ki su smaina mo World Cup tor pa matam da khoi restream kha ba da view yang ba yawe hai na ba
Exactly.
good evening ba da yohan ba good evening paksa da di ai sa dri da
Just don't lose
smaina
focus.
ga restream thak da comment pa da le maning ni mi gai jo ne
It's a
ma pa lang
2-1
mi gai jo
on this desk.
Yeah.
Tawul
And
me
Michelle.
No, don't
If he was
say
here.
don't say it's Michelle. Don't say it's Michelle. It's gotta be Liza.
ai mai yan nuai da ha ba guys ai gi like chi ko am nuai ta ba ma ka
I
oi
mean, let's kind of unpack this a little bit, right? Rare
si
Adam.
YouTube ki ines mind thao sina full screen tor kan noi yeng ba da nuai rong gani nuai ba amai na nuai ba mo rong gani
Besides the obvious in Don and Lanaya for you,
haurom ta hai bi kro bro ko ai gi mi Saudi Arabia da tau report cha ai na ngai na ho ai du no ne he hau dore moi draft ke ka haura ani sida ga ha pi we headphone da gi as moi na phami ba share ga se bro cam tangam gani am ti yeng ne bera ka ro idra se ja wai ti na kana khana lai ba khoi chinau sing ja wai ti na ai na kai tha we dai di si sina he na yeng ba di nung ngai rong gani khal le full screen tau matam da pra full screen oina thok ba ni si sina
Those of you
adu
that
hoi
are
comment
really
pi ra khol ga tau
into
da na mo amadu na mo nuai ba
enjoy this because this is going to be
kai no mayang masa yaw bro eh kai no re bro mapa lang mayang masa hai di kano ni he Saudi ai se da bo dum sak to dum hai pe ma nei da na
how the patch has actually shaped
Do we
what
want?
we are going to be seeing, but it's a really good way to set the tone and set
Kung
the tempo
thambam
for
si
the
mga
wild cards for the
rito
next few days. So with that, let's head over to the
Squid
draft.
ni na
for team
iwadi
number
wadi ni
one,
tao.
between Team Falcons and Rare Adam.
dimda kili halo ga eh juju nang anu do
so much Eternal.
nang anu do nang dum min ka taw lo sangra ja hai ra ba to ki ju thole e
Your presence.
Thank you too. Thank you
o
for being here.
thong na yeng ba si ti hai da na kana de
No, no,
ba da yam kai haura kanu da
Thank you, Abstract.
yam kai haura kanu da
Take it away.
Game number 1, proper into the draft we go. Rare
yam na kai hau kanu da ba da
in
phatte
the
da
blue.
sang chok ka da po
On
ni
the
do
red. On the play. Coach
nupi
Liza
tolop sa da le hela nupi tolop sa da le hela ge de
while Coach Ducky takes out the Lancelot. Hey,
okay draw for it guys
92.
draw for it
Current patch we're sitting in.
kana no sana ibus ya khoi gi team LT ga RT ga ni ko kamai tau yeng ase guys drop se
Red side blue.
Can I
number
allow
one
friends?
fan. What is going on?
ai sak se uttam na de he nuai da ne da official restream khoi sak se mu utra su mu nuai de da na Big Duck na utlin eh. Tayo may ayo in thong na drama na.
Tony, your thoughts on this? Real quick, can I just have you for a second?
Sino Pinoy na sin ngre ha na dia to pa may yarum ba ne.
But why is Lancelot and Yu Shin here? We know they were in the meta, but
Hore.
this is such a high priority.
Kay Ben no mo tawag rin si Bo.
Ben
je mo kay no mo tawag rin sa.
With different kinds of junglers, but he
Ben
has been known for his assassin. So maybe this is some
Lancelot tawag rin, Yushin tawag rin, Kalia tawag rin, Forsa tawag rin. Life sound like hello bro. Life sound horom ganida.
Out as well.
So
Hold up, Rana.
I kind of want to briefly talk about the patch, right? We do have a little bit of hot fix, and when it comes down to the change of the metas as well, I'm more or less just going to be expecting a lot of healing
Forsa Lens.
kind of thing.
First game tawag na na bro. First game tawag hindi ay nakan na masam yaw judro. Ay masam ko yaw judro.
Estes, Florin, Angela. Still at large. Might get picked up here, but hold up. How about the one hero that negates all said healing, shutting down any and all? It wouldn't shut it down. It neutralizes it.
And mixing them up.
Yeah, it's sorry. Okay.
But there is the change of course from 50%
Mo sound jam na
to 40%.
dia de bro. Do gini da. Ay nawa nga mo sina mi no ina. Lum na hen na sound ta han ga da ne ba. Ado how ga di hero ko.
Again, thank you for your 2 cents.
Uru de he ay da bro. Ay nakan da na yaw judro. Ay yaw da ya da ba. Ay sana ba sa da.
How does Coach Ducky respond here? Few.
Ado ay na hining mo guys. Moy gi mo ko na ho ya de ko. Ado na moy mo ko na de ko ho da de mo hay biro ko. Ay ko na Dominator sa kada ba ne ba. Kay na the official Restream ni na. Ay na ngang mas ni he na kano mo hay lehen gadam na hay tare da. To pa moy myam to pa myam su thana ri ni na ba.
I'll say the Falcons definitely do have quite a bit of flexibility to work with.
Kano tok sen se.
This isn't very.
Ado hay biro o ay kitang ho da ga de later na ba.
We know Coffin to be in a
Tolop chong na sara ko ay fa jay. Tolop chong na sara ba nang na sim biro da na. Hawe mo ko. Ado di kitang later da yaro.
A menace in ranked games recently, now seen play on the grand stage.
Ay mo ko na am ho yaro ba. Ay ko na nam na chat ka da ba ne ba. Mo na nga mo ta da su ba ay na nga mo ne na ne ka do ni ka da ro ge. Mo sum background mo dai mo sound so yaw da ba su ay tharak pa yai. Ado mo tha do mo sem dong na ni screen jo mom na ni. Adagi ngang na ba timing ay na ngang do matam da su mo na mo khra ngangan je taw ba ne ba. Ado objiga mo yaro ba ay sem do khra ba ne ay ne na ho ro ba yo. Mo ne na ho ra. Okay, but that's all objiga yaro ba objiga yaro.
But with the higher booster, that means that we aren't gonna see.
Continue ngo YT do ko may tawri gida full support bro for the funny thank you. Ai bro bi dong mulai law nga si FV do gida YT do gida no ni ngo from the yengo ai si dong tha de nga si straight 6 7 8 hours mu ai stream tha ga do ri bani ko adana mayam dom yengjan biro kai ba game like sab sare bro ho ka ka sar kan sembiri ai na ho je fa ja ine dam the hawe hojek nang ne hena okay hojek ta ine na hor bana ta ai si ina microphone mo mang sang pa ne ko sumaina ngan nga da ga non da ga si lu nya ro sum ta ro sumain tap dam na ngang ko to si lu nya na cha
kind of want to play a little bit more towards team fight oriented.
Kai de ki pung ni pan mo ai let ta bi da kan law ngang le de ai si ba ta
Just lacking of a single XP laner.
sak su sa do ni dum blow play di to ro Restream lai banu mit kai si di ai play ta ro ye but because kai have the official Restream the tha ga da ni na like asine hayeng ne hangsit ne si gai jima ai game sana ba ya ro dori sa do ne nang yung gi thawak to ro ai na office sat lage fa choi yai he ba da pa khum na kai ma tang da no ya ri sina juju do sien ngama la ai na nganu pal lu de ma do I'm like nam jin se guys set up sensei like nam do sing like nam jin se set up sensei the guys game se makhata ne enjoy tau se
Badang in the XP lane would also make pretty good sense.
There's room for a Gatot in Falcon, so they can ban that out too. Instead of attacking directly the jungler. But there it is. One of Troll's favorites, the Cho, gets taken out. Coach Raizan did some homework here. Now what are they doing of Boyet? I'm still wondering. Falcons, Boyet is such an interesting element of their roster. He joined them pre-season for the qualifier here. MSC, but so far he's fit in because
kanana ka do man ge in mani je smile go guys wild card oi ra ga su ne sigi esport world cup se thok ngam ma ba ya re he side manipur da aina hai mana hai adu da tong na bai mot ta ne koi sum ba sam tang oi na koi gi india hai de
this guy is a scary jungler. So looking at the possibilities, or rather the amount of junglers that's available right now, what's the one that we should be?
He can still Suyo. Suyo is still open, but it's dangerous to Suyo because you don't know if there's enough magic damage coming from Rare Adam's last 2 picks. Here we go, a Guinevere. I reckon this is
Quinn Roam?
An XP Guinevere.
XP Guinevere?
We see Badang more often in the roam now.
Right.
So I'd reckon they throw this into the hands of Sanji.
Player game maning the lip is a instructor, or player game maning the lip is a Moy may the lip is in a court, so the Nakan is in a moist security gangu, the Harvard. Moy come my Tori Holia Yaba Mama Dugika. Tim Falcon, oh, you're supporting Tim Falcon. In Amsai hour, in Amsai Hungry, bro. See how you Saudi Arabia, that Tori will like Esport World Cup to never, a quit of Hogido. Adugi Port to never, ML2 include Tower Aveneva.
Rare Adam.
Which team are you supporting, guys? Team Falcon or what's the team? What's the other name? Coach say I'm gonna Dakini go. Daki or Sim Mikiam Pound, Team Falcon in even go. I'm a Songi Ryzen, no coach where we see them to take in Kana, Minor Kangdrego. Price pool Kaya Oige is price pool the MLG winner. Kya Oibano, a Kongi. So I'm so when he like world tournament, like if you guess name, she Berani. Scuba was a minor when he
Rare Adam.
Dumbo right there, Hydor O game, Hogan, bro. Somebody always say, bro, no, a hammer, Hogi, winner, Sulaka, never include the Ham, the Hogi Spider, in the Agihana High as a book. In the other, you win a slot, and peeling colors, or slot, I'm a peeling colors ever. Adugi slot to give me arms, a Hogi, Canatona, the never.
Not in the scouting report.
I don't know.
Okay, Hogi Canatona, the never. Compete Hana to do never go. Compete Tower Matunda, Adu the game of Hata, Naya Cadena from Sana Laga, the Gama, Pukideva. 8 crore, 57 lakh price pool. Okay, 8 crore, 57 lakh price pool. Karor Nipanga, 57 lakh 9. BTK depends Akratai. Do the EWC the Giveram, Oi, Mara. I said for the Ronan, Sagida, what's up, kiddo? The farmer.
Boy, it's rocking it.
Yang over the guys rotation so you cry got never hand out Simoy Shigi game cannot toy gun the guns the crap. I don't know what I see. MM attack the lady got the EXP and he's from the kind of funari. The jungle to the thing number thing pang got. And the Mogi Matal me as because any Antoning of Port never jungle yet, no, but I get Pasusang Manata happened to lead the boy. Adu Canos Mind town over Changa easy as if Fazay Adoga MM kay mo masin din atong sunari na hoja si mayay ado
does spend the flicker, but the fact is he's not dead.
Bro BTK gi matang na kitang hero bro BTK gi matang se mo ise game adu high be aroi bro ai jo mo si thai jo mo tha ba thingjalak ta na Paja matang me am punna dung yung minasi ko. Live sino ito kitang dikhenar ni Facebook tana kitang tu wane YT tana kitang ting mane do na ay na nga ko matamda ay na nga isinoy ka sana dab su UI ko do na overall matang ito tang na highway mo ta general do na dung nga agi yai tana guys. So yeah,
we do have the Purify, so he's gonna be fine. He's not at level 4 just yet. Well, in the meantime, Troll is not necessarily there too, but we do have the turtle currently available down in the bottom lane with Lamaya taking up the turtle pretty easily, no contest whatsoever. With Sanji now joins in the fray. We do have the fifth break as well, and Violet Rackrip just gonna be knocking right onto Powerful before he even manages to do anything.
This isn't how you want to play.
Yeah, YT gina siya para agad. Sana na YT gina i-comment siya para agad. Phone dagi ito ka comment na siya dagi wini yung agad sa Facebook siya dagi. Mayam adu Facebook team video which now mayam do yara gadi like share talk and view ka. Ay badi viewers si yaman siya ba. Kung Manipur de at least jabo mo fang daraga so official Restreamer magi site dagi views ya asugyam la e hire gadi mo na mathang da like kitang do so ko advantage ki ka khra do or so phang na ba ai mayam noi no chena khanga mani ai asukina ina stream thala ba je mayam gi kana na ba ha ba tournament bu por ko bu oi gera adagi akoi gi Manipur de include taw na bu oi gera Manipur da hona na bu oi gera mayam mai behind the scene background that you honari bane ba dum and Norris Cup ka do ai Manipur da pu honna ba ai honara mine ba Laki bisaksa ba sadi yung nana si ora farming neto ro tay sa level 4 yo ga fajay ado me ampun na yeng ase like namjen se share talk sen se Facebook ta yeng bagay na Facebook ta like namjen biro YT da yeng bagay na YT da like namjen biro share do yam da bida share amani kitang taw biro group gumbada ado ga mayam puna khoi yeng minar si khoi yeng se EWC e-sport world cup tuni ga da MSC hai sina khoi gi mobile legend mid season ka 5 ni ga yam phazai hayabusa ga team falcon ga khoi rare atom ga ni ko funai se rare atom hai ba team zira gi di aha moina di oi da red side lei bi se mayam team falcon ni ga noina dum hana moi je uramani na I thaza ba lei moi je dum han da gi dum lai ra ba team dum maming satla ba khoi gan da dok ta ga dum yaw ba ma dum mai taw ba moi team ma khak ni ga ado hoje fog na di 0-1 da lei ri yam fazari yam na ani ma yeng ni ko week 1 day 1 gi week 1 gi ni ko si ja si wild card che nu min humni ni ko sana di ja ngasi ne hayeng ne hangsit ne si dum continue taw gi ni ko ado na mayam yara ga di mayam like dum je shiru sun se ko ge no mayam pula ma jela si mo ne ngam sa pe kha ga ta se ka ki wi kom do ri ge dum lei ri da chak su no ala no sa no ma le nan ke sa bo de dum dang dum sai da ado ayuk ki sa ba si di hoi pung mari ma sai da sai for jai falcon na ni ko taw sa la ija red china azar blue se urana se mel chat kredum ai no nupi di draba nang na ka ki goro kum medium li ra ba li di da kaumal la am nai ko ra no ja de angang sa ni ka ko re khum me na naw ko re khum me da ko re khum me kiwi ko re khum me bro khum bai ko ra di dum khum me any Japan gi tawri do yeng si dana adu la ka do ni mathang la ka do ni bro ha bi ai official Restream oi bi na ma khok ta ki tha ba horok ko ni na loina cover taw ga do ni ba adu gi ni da stream de loina cover taw ga do ni na ma khok tu de ki tha ho da heng mu dei chap chana timing mo ye hek ho du gum chana hal ga thara age adu na fa na ba Japan jo ne guys Japan gi jo ne na di is for world cup da mathang step by step da mathang la ka do ni ai dum cover loi taw ram ma ge taw ni loi cover da loi taw ya da ni na ai loi ga matung do or ga so nai ani na difference is for ni som lai ti go difference is for ni am dan som lai bi na ti funa di am funa re rotation yeng ga taw ni na is makha da exp da uranus ta mi geng taw uranus si dre ne badang ga kano ga sang about da si dra bane ba kai gi universe ga sang about da mathak ta moi nam na ba kano hona re ga de isi gi baksia de gi hayabusa adar gi ma gi zero season ra aga paisa lak pai matang ni but som da enemy na khoi gi engage lok sala aga ma je hat ka da mi mong da ni ko lai se
mindset of their comp
and ka thom ni asi tom ten sina ngang sajan ning sina nai se but the man nai se ai jo ngang ni he ai jo ngang ni falcon je timing sa chana moi gi am phajaba ma haira ga de khoi gi engage storm dai de engage to ba timing sa na chelam dai da chen ba si ji am phajai ba ko jackson oh flicker ka fo
a lot of
pressure urana se makha da mathak yoler me ko haya busana makha kan in tori badang fla e badang su la avani ado urana si ma de da yet pa ho re bro uranus being the uranus guys but the madilla because of madilla let's see how it's going to be sanjizu kana mel sa ba ho re zeg let na nungai do si uranus mani let na ro bi nungai ka de
a lot of pressure in mid, all 5 members of both squads here.
Waiting is view ya malaka siko guys me am like nam jan si share toxin siko Facebook ke like re daga me am puna game enjoy taw si aina nakan da ai ma thok pa yeng manuai tabra ai sak sam that kora
with the battle requiem everyone all hands on deck onto Dawn brings him down effectively. That is a 1v4 fight while the Naya focuses onto the turtle. Rare Adam just looking for objectives.
Thank you for your service. An XP laner for the turtle at that point in the game, especially since there's casualties is well worth it. I think that's what's keeping her within an arm's length of a Team Falcon's gold lead. Let's check out the in-game breakdown. So this is confirmed to be a utility tank build Guinevere.
But there is
back home. You might know him. He's such a fan of Guinevere, and I don't know if this is the right way to build it. I don't know if this is the new meta, but Boyet is making it work. Boyet hasn't died yet.
Not yet. Yeah, 2 is a 0 is 3. At this point in time, pumping damage.
Yep, again, it's happening. What we said about Team Falcons weaving in and out, rope or doping Rare Adam.
Team Falcon. Late game the guys kanana kadum man gaya.
in the early game, after that overextension, I think
Kaki minang saktu the ne view am do idea hey gino hais bo ai go nga ne he put of the live hearing the namai ma sang adu mel chakre fajai falcon na je thunang la sin taw ni let tadi sure rest tom na rear atom je kana karam team moi do no khang dia RT na ka do ma le kana ka do jano adu pun yeng ase ka do na de khang adu da ne high se ga je screen de tak law na namo bro ki wi chong thok la ani ai sana ba malam de ai pe ngo bai sal la ga ai sana ba sa de ai sana ba yaw man de.
And as we take a look at the goal difference, we do have got a little bit more towards the side of Irithel and the Hayabusa.
Yeah, the money's on the wrong places for Team Falcons. So now they have to find a way to get it back onto Sano. If anything,
YT stream game man wai ngani da.
Sano is the one true core for Team Falcons.
Game le am kan intense way de go ge. Game is getting intense. Irithel rana slice sara ani. Ado hoi chume am na ado khoi gi song gi na universe na horan ko. Tong phang ma dia ga dam ne ba do moi ge baksha so yaw ne baksha ma mang thani jok su le tadi pam mel ne to ka do. Team Falcon na to ba do na ka ni okay. Kana na kai yeng si ko de me.
Dawn would actually like to be right smack dab in the middle of Falcons. Pop that vengeance. This is one of the few times that
ado mai kano je passive se sana dab ju adam ne Uranus ki passive sana de adam
sting a bit.
Uranus yo ne na mama.
At 9 looking for targets. So far Paufu hasn't really died in a while. Paufu's actually been taking care of himself. Pretty good artillery here, dropping that little Johnny in that
Lana ya yang sana ne wai haya ga sana ko
Rolling Lord. I don't think Team Falcons would benefit this.
Red na garni Falcon na tawni okay. Blue team rear atom na ka do mala hinga se me mod haina thank you. Other neighbor the minor change interesting in Java. See him the Kadumali, see him the Kadumali, go Haina.
For the ages, started out by the home team as Rare Adam answers back. Team Falcons, they're staying within the vicinity. I wonder if they want to give the orange buff to Sano first, but look, they're timing it well, Abstract. They're timing it well. They're waiting. Dawn now at half health. Won't be minding that. Oh, it might be a ploy. It's Mikey pushing.
The mid lane's gonna get a slight push out. The bottom lane, we do have
mid lane. No, Falcon. Okay.
Doesn't have any very good ways to kind of play cross map. That is gonna be a tad little bit of problem. But in the meantime, there is a Hayabusa on the side of Rare Adam.
So it's
all about the match.
Nah, that's how we know. We have to fucking at the
this game through.
I have sugar, okay, no, I have guy they are, I have y'all did that. I have y'all run it. Oh, my
not much one on either side. 2.5. Yep, luckily 10, make it 10. Luckily Team Falcons did not lose that bottom lane tier 2. So they've been taking care of that wave at least by hook or by crook. And the Lord still standing. Looking at the items right now, a Sky Piercer currently and a Malefic Roar on Sano. All this while, the Trinity solid for Mikey. I wouldn't say that Mikey can wipe out though. I think Mikey still needs one more.
Not quite there yet. But we have
Hey, na Facebook se kano da ai ratio sin do tha da yaro ai na thai ratio se Facebook ki yaro YT ki budi yaro 3 rom GG AD independent da kain na ne independent da kanam da ka roi ba M3 ki base MM ne mani o he pudi adu si da yaw ki Falcons kangu ne sinamo wa ja re tim Falcon tawra ka da ko sida oh he a changi ne he fa da mark soi gra ma mark soi gra Irithel sare Irithel way too deep and man lak man gre okay Josh na la ma thil la ma to kre asom da ta na gre camera pai mi je world cup sil la ga som hai ta bana ma YT da sa do YT da thai
and their better positioning. It was their jungle. It was their base.
Kano je experience khoi gi kano na hele Falcons na hele wa adu da ne ba soi ri je out of position akhoi gi team rare tom na tau ji akhoi ga tau do mai na ne ba like moina they have the advantage ko moi advantage moina lagi ri ba ni the fight moina ngam ba ya ri ni team fight ama mo da ko setup tau khot ba do tang Falcon na advantage le ni moina sana ra ko adu mo ne ba tau
really wanting to do something about this, but Poyet will take the Lord for themselves.
Lord che secure kana tau do Retribution Guinevere.
Team Falcons, they have the Lord.
Oh, okay, Guinevere. Sang nam gidre ne. Ama ne yet pi lai gre ne coffin ne.
Teleport. Did you
see? Yam fa sana ne. Coffin ne.
buying time, keeping away.
Kay lam gi Falcon no Falcon se kay lam no oi dai ko ri pangi he hai nu ko nang wai han ka na ka no nang gi nang no comment pin do ka na ka no idi u dre ha ba
Coffin was one of the major reasons why Team Falcons is
nang comment pin do ka na ka idi u dre ha ba
potential from Team Falcons, and now that the
nang na dan ngang gi ra nang do
in from the top lane, ready to pillage everything that ran out of
ke lo lai ga guys will they be able to defend at the maru oi de defend tong mo dang mo ra ha ni ko
although we are just looking at about 1,500 in gold for Team Falcons. Let's leave. If they play the next minute very well, this could blow up into about a 2,000, 3,000 gold lead, even with Rare Adam defensively cleaning up. Look at this, Boyet going for that purple steal as well. And then the rest of the outer turrets taken down. Rare Adam left to their base.
I would definitely say that when it comes down to
ai din comment na dan da mu pi le dai kai ro gan da dra robot pi se bot pi me do sem ya ro ai ngasi kut pang lieng ma ya di ro do na
and they're gonna have to focus on this before losing Hollywood.
What in there?
You could say the same for Team Falcons.
You know what I'm saying? I
don't want to say dismal wave clear, but on a scale of 1
Falcons Lord Manak Sangam Drina Sipra Wild Tar Asadu Low Granny Lord Moina Pazab the Moina Hien Mudo Masagi another bro Kaidi Yenge Kaino Kaidi Yenge I know you see Tais Rab see the on but Maling P bro the day
the matter is the fact
now official Restream Moy in a Kai Tornino bro Canone Esport official World Cup to Saudi Arabia EWC as Esport World Cup
out of the turret range, no problem.
Yam Tazadra Tokra Gay Kaino Yam Tazadra Gan Tadra Gati Hirava
A very non-committal play, as you mentioned.
Carino me, I'm going to see Sasalum, the Hiro, and again. Rate not for me. Rich Falcon, the money experience, call you here and you were doing an invitation. I understand how the Real Madrid Nakani high voice is on Mupodo RTZ. Rare Tom say, Hoy, Mupodo Mali, my toe. Hello?
Let's have your Adam overextend. Let's wait for them to play Pisano, and then we do one beneficial trade to another. Team Falcons now up by about 2,000 gold, almost 600 stacks on Pisano. He is the guy. If he dies, Team Falcons just stops.
It's gonna be tough.
I'm gonna tell you. Official mission,
Sano, right? But with how the map is played out right now, Lord's gonna be at the southeastern part of the map, while the top lane is already completely broken down. So if it would dance long enough, the top lane is just going to push up.
Oh, yeah, right. Then it's got to be
actually a free Lord for Team Falcons.
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate.
Oh, that is going to be the length of flat, and we'll be able to connect on John followed by
camera angle for the one.
Enabling them to get a kill down.
Kaki independent the boat be haiba akawa mana dong lep yani na ai do dine. Okay. YouTube the suthabani. Moi YouTube the suthabani. Real Madrid tiponi khangre me chana drikan the football wai do ri. Sing buka so muk sari. Sing
single core lineup. No other way than Ube.
Nasidi aina time mo sidam phajab.
Action right now. Rare Adam, they have to defend. They have to hunker down and accept the fact that okay, we can't let that happen again. Dawn, Cat9, change of plans. And I'm not even sure if this plan is going to work, right? We have to stop throwing bodies. We have to be playing this a little safer. The bottom lane.
Dennis like the
they do have the ability, right? But they don't necessarily have that damage to kind of return the favor over the side of the Falcons. You can't make them, solve the same maps at this point. So, random.
Bro, they are ready.
He's got 4 items
over.
The final few hits with the Malefic of nature. I would say the same over to the side of Sano, unless they kind of step up a little bit onto the Sky Piercer.
Oh, wow. Okay, Rare Adam. They changed Mikey's boots here. I think this is key. Again, they could have just let it go. They could have just went 6 core items for Mikey, right?
Right.
But I think they understand now how dangerous this is for an Iritel to be in front of a Badang, in front of a Matilda, and in front of a, oh my lord, it's 4 CCs that he has to watch out for. I understand.
4 blue and 4 but there is so kita taki is ya adrenaline is kai bang tahal ya. I don't know if there any pung kya tha do city straight pung 8 hours mung ko yong mani match marine ha pung ta ra. Ala pung tare makai ta ko ni pan makai mapan makai tram to makai baro makai amma makai.
Going to be sufficient enough to bring this lot down and subsequently the creep waves.
All right, not like this. This is not how Team Falcons expected for that 3-lane push to happen, and they did not expect the surgical accuracy of Rare Adam to put all the damage onto the singular hero that overextended, Sanji. There was not a single wings that could save him from Troll, the guided winds. Nothing. Like I'm sure they pressed it, but there was too much damage.
Yeah, it's all about the homing missiles. It's just gonna be running right in the face.
Camera angle, marin si camera angle je phajab ra ba. Aina thare bi nga sige ma chau thu ka thab je phajab ra guys. YT da ju yeng ba.
A little bit more hybrid defense to kind of work towards his favor. So we're gonna have to work it out and wait and see how the end game's gonna look like.
Eugene, look at this. Team Falcons, right? They lost just one hero. They lost Sanji, his first death all game.
Oh, right, that's true.
It led into quite the push. It led into the map turning as blue as it has been for the past 5 minutes.
Just for a while.
Yep, we're approaching the 19-minute mark now, almost crossing TikTok timer threshold, and Sanji's back at it. Oh, look at this, the back line. Lanaya!
I don't think it is going to touch them at all. Lanaya is all the way out of the back and no longer shadows.
Nang lai vai.
Get himself right out of dodge. Dawn will now try to get himself running out of the way. Pop the vengeance.
Okay.
With that final vacuum. But hey, he's still alive out of all of that. But we do have more damage coming from the side of Team Falcons. They want to do everything that they can while Mikey popped up with the wind of nature. So no more of that invulnerability from the physical damage anymore. The circling eagle pops on the 2. Puts Cat 9 and brings down his immortality. Dawn is gonna be next. With only 3% left from the side of Rare Adam. The crystal is down. With Team Falcons taking game 1.
Team Falcon na game 1 ka san ko guys today.
But here we go with Team Falcons drawing first blood, taking the first game in the series. It was so close though. There were moments where I could have swore Rare Adam found the formula.
Rare Adam, I think that final fight technically could have went a lot better. I mean, the skilling is already there. It's kind of like a 50-50.
Mayam si wa li ni match matang noi dum sakhinu ko adum la yu ko guys aduga tha ba ya ba yeng ba ya ba plug yeng da si
straw that broke the camel's back. The fact that they were not just fighting a 5-man coalition from Team Falcons, they were also fighting their own base. Like they were clogging up holes in a sinking ship, and the captain just had to say, "Ahoy, matey!" Ahoy, mateys! This seems to be an end, and that's where we are now. The first game going over to Falcons.
Going over to Falcons, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. At this point, match point over to the side of Team Falcons. They're slowly inching their way closer over to victory if they do win the second game after all. We do, of course, have got a quick little replay. Leo, a couple. Talk through this. What
this is the first major team fight that led to a but not in the
guys. I'll be right back.
You're winning everything.
Right?
Names.
Bro, how to get permission for Restream? Action please, I think the deadline is over though, but you can contact me on my WhatsApp and just I'll tell you how to do it. You can at least try. Kaki with Tomthin Chekar work they are. Tomthin Jebera am kare. Ma'am, no later muko chatta vida. I as you dukan bog the two give them ma'am. I dum 10-15 minutes. I dum tharam get I no chalang no dum live see and a later more. I halaga dum I join in Toroka.
Now plunging himself into Falcons.
Oh my god.
Too soon. But yes. I mean, a month's time is enough. I think the fact that Ducky has been working with this squad for quite a while, based on my understanding of the timeline, it seems like a lot of his teaching has already come into play.
I'm definitely looking for how Team Falcons is going to do this, right? We did say that Team Falcons is definitely promising. They are a lot more well-coordinated team. And looking at this game with a little bit of kind of like a semi-Ube kind of thing, they have to play together, and it worked out great.
Again, I'm glad to see that as early as game 1 in all of the wild cards, my predictions paying off. I'd hate for this to be an early onset, disappointment. But no, this is just a cynic in me speaking, but the realist has to expect that Falcons are looking good. Do you like Falcons?
I do. I think it was really solid. Their gameplay was solid, and it was unfortunate for me because as I was watching backstage, I didn't really like the drafts coming in from Rare Adam.
You didn't like it?
No, not really.
You don't like it?
I mean, who am I to say? I just called it a dive comp. It played to the many strengths of the squad, right?
It did. It worked in the beginning as well.
Yes. They scored a turtle and then they could defend, but yeah, no.
I mean, I can't help but think that Zask. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Zask. Let's be honest here.
Like, what was he trying to do? Is a question.
Yeah, like okay. So we at least for Zask, you want to win lanes, but he lost the lane. And he's at level 3 by the time the first turtle appeared. And from that point on, we also have to realize that wave clear is a problem. So when everything starts creeping in, the Zaz is just stuck there. Even if I dominated the descent, I'm beaming one guy. And that's the creep.
And it's weird, right? Because back in the day when Jushin was super meta, it was the Zaz that was the counter towards the Jushin. So the fact that the Zaz didn't really have much to say in the lane was kind of unique. When I was talking about the drafts, I was more so recalling over the lack of initiators, I think, which felt kind of lackluster in the team fights because that's when we saw Rare Adam just really drop the ball. So we are going to take a look at the highlights from that first game in this match. So we're going to take it to it right now. Okay.
So more moments for us to figure out exactly if it was all in on the initiation. I think you're right. They have a wall of meat, is what they have.
Wall of meat, yeah. With no crowd control.
Yeah, it's the Uranus and the Baksha.
They have no crowd control.
At some point, you're just not afraid of a wall of meat. Sometimes there's enough space in your stomach to go like, I'm chomping down.
I have another stomach for desserts.
Yeah. Oh. So, okay. That I did not see immediately. I was just going like, oh, this Baksha is so annoying. This Uranus is so annoying. But annoyance.
They are just annoying, right?
Yeah, but it can only take you so far.
Yeah, annoying don't win you the games, I guess.
Being annoying don't win you the EWC.
Yes. So you need to be annoying and fill in the blanks.
And really good at MLBs. which I think Falcons was. Falcons really played this, again, fragile lineup quite well. How did you like that? How did you like the fact that it was just Granger? It was all on Granger.
It was all on Granger. And there's even a Hayabusa that can reach all the way to the back lines. And normally, when you're looking at Hayabusa, I wouldn't want to draft my own team to be kind of squishy.
No, but this is Sano we're talking about.
I mean, yeah.
This is Sano we're talking about. He is, if I'm not mistaken, a name that came out in M6 was a little moniker. He was Saudi Gold. He is the best of the best.
Saudi Gold.
He is the best of the best when it comes to playing that gold lane. And you saw it here, like, all right, I got Troll to protect me. I got the rest of Falcons to protect me. Literally, all four were just put there to protect Saudi Gold. It's like, pop, pop, pop.
Yeah, he's known as the best gold laner in MENA.
That's right.
The entire MENA.
Not just in Saudi
Not just
Arabia.
in Saudi.
The entire MENA. The entire region.
Is that guy over there?
Just casually sitting there.
This is a good game, definitely. And I'm definitely looking for the second game as well. You mentioned match point. If Rare Adam doesn't, find a way out of this ditch, then unfortunately they're going to find themselves with the first loss. And instead, 2 losses equals to...
Here's the thing. Unfortunately for Rare Adam, what I've been hearing about them is the fact that Cat 9 isn't very comfortable on heroes that really initiate well. And he's also not comfortable with heroes that are support-based, like the Matilda. So that's why he's kind of caught in a position where he usually swaps around the Baxia and the high-lows. And maybe that's why we saw the Baxia come through, flexed through into the roam. But the big question is, why the Uranus in the EXP lane?
That's tough. Again, it's because it's good in the current metagame, but sometimes it's not the right answer. Here today, it wasn't the right answer. So I guess this is enough time for both squads specifically to catch a quick minute, a quick breath.
All right. Is that for us too?
Yes.
All right, so we are going to go on a short break before we get into the second game of the series, whether or not Falcons can actually go 2-0 straight, approach another victory here in our wildcards format. So with that, we'll see you after this short one. Our second game of the day here in our opening match of the wildcards at MSC x EWC 2025. Once again with me, Eterna, alongside in our English broadcast, we have Leo and Abstract once again to bring you all the entertainment for the next few matches of the day.
I'll tell you now, I am very entertained. This first best of three, the first game in this series, did show us a breadth of strategies. Again, even the intricacies of the drafts and the player tendencies. I did not know that about Cat 9. So now it makes sense.
Adam,
for better or for worse.
I mean, Adam, they gotta have to change something up. I definitely don't want to see Zask anymore. This is a me thing. I just don't like Zask. I don't see a lot of value out of Zask, especially from that game. Impact.
I can hear you.
Zaz ain't the way.
Oh man. Oh man.
This is me.
You're making me nervous. But continue. So no Zask for
No
Abstract.
Zaz for me.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, Fasa was wide open.
No, the fast one was banned.
Oh, it was banned? Okay,
Yeah.
Eve was wide open.
Eve was there.
Okay, yeah.
Artillery mages, maybe there were better ways to go about it. Yeah, no, you're right. Again, I'm not as much of a Zask no.
Connoisseur.
Yeah, it's not like I like him, but I don't hate him. It's just
Okay,
now.
okay.
Now that we put it to hindsight, I'm also curious why. Coach Ryzen, why?
Is it more on the fact that they want to... I mean, when it comes down to Zask versus Jusin, as Itana mentioned, there's kind of a relationship going on there, right?
This is Zushin's opening relationship. Like, this was her first romance, her first relationship. Back in MWI last year.
Did it end up well?
It was a 50-50 because they really didn't care about each other much. Like, they interacted with the team fight and team dynamics very differently. So I guess here, that difference didn't matter much because the rest of Falcons knew exactly what they were doing.
They are very well coordinated. They have been moving around and putting a lot of influence into the gold and the XP. But I think most notably is the fact that the middle lane was not really accounted for. So the influence that Zask is supposed to bring around the map with the lack of mobility, ultimately I feel crippled the Rare Adam quite a fair bit. Especially since Uranus, which is supposed to proxy lane so that she can be anywhere and everywhere, was stuck in the XP lane too.
We did talk about the Uranus, right? The fact that the Uranus, to have a bigger impact, would really need to win the lane as soon as possible, have a little bit of a lead over to the opposing XP laner to have that impact. But that's also something that we really didn't see. So again, when it comes down to the drafts, I want to see a little bit more balance coming in from Rare Adam. Because
something more purposeful.
Technically, in terms of execution, it looks like they know what they're doing. They know the main purpose and like their winning conditions. It's just they didn't really have the tools available to work with.
Or weren't using the tools in the right avenues. Because there was one time when they picked off Sanji. I'm like, whoa, I was surprised how they killed Sanji. Could they replicate this where it actually matters? Because at the time, Falcons were on the base. Like, Sanji dying was a necessary loss at that point. They didn't even blink. Sanji didn't even spend his flick. It was like, sorry guys.
They had a lot of damage at that point in time, right? But as we did mention, it is all inhibitor turret is down. There's too much, and too much odds are stacking against them. the time where they had that power up is a tad little bit too late, even though they had a chance in winning in a 5v5 match.
Yeah, Mikey didn't get to flex. Like, Mikey was always at, I have the tools, y'all. Why can't y'all set me up to kill anybody? Again, it comes down to space, too, because, again, this is a full-on dive comp that Rare Adam was playing with.
Yeah.
There's only so much Mikey could do. If a dude gets pulled out by Troll and the rest of Team Falcons are backing out, what do you do as Mikey on the Irritel? Do you run forward? Do you force it? No, you're going to die.
I do especially like the pick on the Guinevere, actually. We didn't really quite mention too much about the Guinevere pick, especially when we see a Uranus. You know that a Uranus wants to be in your face as much as possible.
More than in your face.
Exactly.
If possible.
So if you don't hit your Violet Requiem, or rather, if you don't hit your Spatial Migration, I think that's fine. You still have a passive to work with, and Uranus is constantly just going to be circling around you. He's afraid of crowd control, so the moment you just go with enough basic attacks, he's definitely flying, no matter what.
That's why the Badang really shined here, I think.
It's a non-starter. It just seems like a non-starter now that we're talking about it.
So what are other things we should be looking at for Rare Adam to maybe look for a comeback in this series?
Crowd control?
Other than drafts, we did mention that already.
Maybe attack the roles that matter. Maybe they didn't.
The roles that matter.
Maybe they didn't hit Sano hard enough in the early game. Y'all remember how they were sending Lanaya, and then they were even sending over Cat9 like twice, tops twice in the laning and the post-laning phase, and then just gave up. It's like, no, he's not dying, guys. Let's just leave him here. Like, maybe they should have kept trying because Sano really was just the guy. He was Falcon's one claw. Everyone else could not deal the same damage Sano was.
Aside from that, I think that there's also the fact that we didn't manage to see too much from Powerful, at least in the laning phase.
I think this is a byproduct of him being on the Zask.
I mean, yeah.
It's the egg and the chicken, man. It's like
egg and the chicken. Which one comes first?
Yeah, like
how the Zask?
Yeah, I have a problem here, but I don't have a solution. I end up with another problem. That's the thing that Rare Adam's dealing with. I hate to say it, but there seems to be a grocery list of things for them to do.
So I'm wondering whether or not it's because of what we mentioned, the Jushin and the Zaz interaction, or it's just one of his comfort heroes. We'll see whether or not he explores it, because it looks like the drafts for game number 2 is ready. And man, I want to see some changes. Maybe finally look for someone like the Farsa, maybe perhaps more powerful. Someone with a little bit more impact in the game, or the Yves. But there it is, the drafts. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Will Falcons be able to go 2-0, or can Rare Adam have a different say in this upcoming game? We're going to throw it over to Leo and Abstract to lead us into it.
Much gratitude, Eterna.
Thank you.
Leo and Abstract taking care of business here. Game number 2 here. Match point for Team Falcons, the home team. Here's a start. Eugene, here's a start. What about a side swap?
Side swap and
let him react.
Yeah. So now Falcons is gonna be on first pick, first ban. Rare Adam on second pick, second ban. Rare Adam started with that Uranus and the Babsia pick, both of which were the ones that they managed to get when they were first pick, first ban.
And now suddenly, it's
all gone.
What a change of pace here. They banned both heroes. All this while, Falcons still sticking to their guns, banning out the Lancelot, but now banning out the 1-1 and the Arlott, another big breakout hero in the current metagame. One more ban for Coach Raizan and Rare Adam. A lot of open picks, by the way. You mentioned the Farsa, Kalia still out there, Zutian is still out there.
There's a lot.
Especially with the 2 picks, man.
We do want to see a little bit of that artillery mage going on, right? But we still have quite a lot of the other roles that we gotta fill out. With the final ban being that Matilda, they have decided, and this is not a hero that we want to deal with at all.
Okay, I think Falcons, they could go Chip. They could go. I don't think you chip this early. They could go Kalia. She
Maybe
is open.
Second phase. Oh yeah, Kalia.
Yep.
Always gonna be a great pick-off.
Or the Farsa this early. Like, I think that's worth it.
First pick Farsa?
Yeah, take it away from Powerful, because again, they turned him into a non-factor game 1.
Right.
By forcing him on the Zaz.
Yes.
Why don't you do it again? See what happens. See if that works. They have the leeway. Oh, no. Okay. We stick to...
Okay,
right.
we're gonna stick to the gun, right? We're gonna keep at it with the Kalia. So, Yisun Shin. Okay. So this is my question, right? Whenever the opponents actually pick up a Yisun Shin, do you want to kind of go eye for an eye, 2 for a 2, vision for a vision by picking up Zetian?
I don't think it's on the Yisun Shin. Given that my opinion, my take on this isn't as informed because again, both heroes are new elements in the current metagame, right?
Yes.
1.9.92, they have both currently been unlocked because again, there was almost a rework for Yisun Shin, but Zetian, she's a brand new hero. Instead, oh my lord, Eterna's little tidbit about Cat 9 showing itself once more. I am about 90% sure that this is a Rome Hylos.
I would have assumed that it would be a Rome Hylos.
Because Don can play almost anything.
All right.
Don has a really deep hero pool. He plays Benedetta, man. I don't think you throw a Hylos on a hero on a player like that.
True. You wouldn't want to put Don on to just a soaking guy. Especially if he can make the plays, he can do the big stuff. But speaking of the Farsa that we wanted to talk about, it will be taken away by Falcons. So that is the Granger and the Farsa. So great range going on. The Zetian even for the side of Rare Adam.
That is a lot of artillery and so much early game initiation from Falcons. But Rare Adam, they double down. They are more than just global, they're international. There's two global ults they're playing with, man.
No matter where you go, we have our eyes on you.
Okay, I don't know how to feel about this because even with these two strong picks, right, two new meta heroes, plus possibly a comfort for Cat 9, I think we're leaning back on old issues here. This is a lot of tools and a lot of resources that even I don't know how to use right now with 3 picks in. Like there's a whole lot of I don't know going on.
So at least we have that one frontliner, we have the Yisun Shin that can snowball or rather have pretty good tempo.
Stable farming pattern.
So wouldn't that mean that Falcons will want to break that consistency out of Yisun Shin at all?
Eugene, you're right. With these 3 alone, they can. With these 3 alone, they can. As soon as Sano is unlocked from the gold lane when he builds his 3rd item or 2nd item even, and Troll go in hunting, these 3 can already ruin Zetian.
This is going to be a pretty scary start, right? Right off the bat, Falcons have already showed their cards. This is how we're going to play. We're just going to kind of look around for ways to further amplify our early game aggressiveness as well as just general raiding the opponent's jungles.
Yep. Coach Raizan, speaking about the jungle, blocks out a couple of picks here away from Boyet, locks in that Irithel to go toe-to-toe against Sano's Granger. Total MVP, by the way, I'd say, from game number 1. While Coach Ducky blocks out EXP lane choices, I think he's also convinced that this is going to be Cat 9's Hylos going into the Land of Dawn. Falcons, though, they need a jungler. What does Boyet pick up and what does Sanji pick up? I'm thinking 2 frontliners again.
2 frontliners, yes, I would agree as well. They already have the. I suddenly forgot her name again.
The Farsa?
No.
The Kalia?
Kalia, yes.
Yeah, so still 2 frontliners, I'd reckon.
2 frontliners.
Because you already have. They were okay with Sano just being the 1 damage source, right?
Yes.
What now with Coffin dealing damage too? All the more they're comfortable, so why not just more frontliners?
At this point, with the fact that they have the Granger and... Okay, there we go. The fact that they already have the Granger and the Farsa, they are not lacking anything in the damage department. They have early game, mid game, late game damage. So at this point, just drag on the fights. You have any form of crowd control, utility, utilize them.
They got it on lock is what they're doing here. Rare Adam, though, what do we see in the EXP lane? What does Don, the fresh Indonesian import, bring? Don here, a veteran of MPLID, MDLID, been around the world to play for this Chinese franchise, and it's an Esmeralda. Okay, so stealing shields from the Badang, stealing shields from the Fred. I hate to say it, Eugene, but it's very similar to game 1.
Very similar. You have a form of initiation when it comes down to the Falling Star Moon. You have great ways to slow opponents down with
the Glorious
Pathway. You have good ways to engage, but do you have enough to deal with Team Falcons? Because they have a very tanky front lines. They have a lot of crowd control going on for you. So even if the Hylos goes in to kind of soak everything up, can he even survive all of this ordeal, provided that he's just going to be targeted time and time again?
Okay, one of the main things that Rare Adam can hedge on is the fact that they've been playing with Zetian for months. They might
know something that we don't.
They might have Zetian tricks that we are not aware of. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 2, match point for Team Falcons. Again, that would put them at one more game to qualify for the single elims second stage of the wild card. Rare Adam, they're holding on for dear life. Is this enough of an adjustment to get them there, to force us into game number 3? Looking at the mid, Team Falcons clears first, and this leaves Troll to wait for that Little Wanderer.
Okay, so right off the bat, we already have some very different things going on in the middle lane now, right? With Cat9 assisting in the mid lane, so at least the influence from Rare Adam, we should be able to expect to see that in the top and the bottom lane regardless. But it's still too early to say. They are both currently still at level 2. How they're going to be assisting in the EXP, because it is an Esmeralda going up against a Badang. In terms of these two going in a fist fight, what's that lane priority going to be like?
I'd reckon these two don't care about each other. I'd reckon like whoever gets out of the lane first, or whoever makes the most of beneficial rotation from our mid trio, that's who gets out. That's who wins it.
Okay.
It has been a while since we've seen an Esmeralda versus Badang matchup happen.
I haven't seen Esmeralda in a long time.
Exactly. Mind you, though, in the Chinese qualifier, we have seen Esmeralda.
Oh, okay.
KLVJ played a lot of Esmeralda. the team that beat Rare Adam then, Jaffa Yaguai. So they know the strength of an Esmeralda. They know how to make this work. It's just, is this the right stage to make it work against this squad?
Yeah, it is a very similar idea to pick up a Uranus, to be very honest. She's pretty annoying. The amount of shields that she can absorb may not be too much. So I kind of question the amount of survivability that the Esmeralda may have here.
Oh, here we go. See, this is one of those rotations that I'm talking about. The fact that they've pushed back Dawn, and fight started by Cat9. Forcing Boya to respond. Lanaya does put out the Mount Chakra already, so aware of the positionings of Team Falcons. Turtle now at half health.
They also know where Troll is at this point in time, but right now we do have the Feathered Airstrike going to be stopped almost immediately. And it doesn't seem like things are going to be working out too great for the side of Rare Adam, with 2% taken down already, just with a quick move up on top, and that is going to be a suplex right down to the Cat9. 3 kills in favor for Team Falcons.
Ironic, I hate to say it, but Team Falcons, the only reason they'd be upset by that turnout is all the kills went on Troll. Everything else was a win for the home team. Team Falcons walked away with 3 kills, the Turtle, and about a 2,000 gold lead here. Rare Adam, again, XP lane, you don't even need to win that. Mid lane, clear win for the Saudi Arabian squad, but gold lane, what if they take one of my points there and attack Sano even more? We're not seeing that exactly, not in the first 3 minutes.
Honestly, I really like the interaction between Zetian as well as Nefasa. The Fury of the Phoenix, the moment that you find that the Feathered Airstrike is coming in, boom, almost instantaneously stunned. You can
stop her.
Immediately stop, man.
But that means Powerful should be in range. Powerful should have closed the gap then.
Oh, there we go. Immediately catch out onto Cat9, and that kill is actually a lot faster than I expected.
Wow.
I thought he's supposed to be a beefy pony.
He did not have the Revitalize, did not drop any of his kit. It was so sudden. I didn't think they expected Troll to be there, nor both Coffin and Sano. It was just one or the other. Maybe Sano went home, Coffin was in mid, elsewhere rotating, but another free kill, a pick-off for Team Falcons. Even top lane ain't safe for Rare Adam.
He didn't even have time to react at all, and that is the scary part, right? Whenever that Troll finds an opportunity to just go straight in, they will burst that 1% down. They don't care if whether it's a Hylos, they don't care if whether it's an Esmeralda. They will jump at every single opportunity that they get. And with that all said and done, they've got 4 kills now. 2,000 goal lead.
Huge for Team Falcons as they continue to rotate. Sanji making the most of the relative silence down bottom, picks up that Thunderbelt. So even if this does end up being a dead lane duel, he will get stacks. Turtle started up already. Cat9, the single Vanguard right in front of Rare Adam's lineup. Drops the Gorge pathway.
Priority is going to go over to the side of Team Falcons, but in the meantime, we do have Troll that's just going to be jumping all the way to the back to deal with Lanaya. The fight is going to be broken into 2. Coffin wings by wings away and did manage to pop the Feathered Airstrike. Not enough to bring Dawn down. There is no casualties from either one of these 2 teams.
A clinical approach by Team Falcons. Again, if earlier it was Coffin who played the isolation with the Zushin, here, my lord, Boyet dropping the hammer. As I was saying, it was Troll doing the man-to-man isolation play on Lanaya, denying him, even thinking of hitting the retribution on the Turtle. That was beautiful. That happened to the right of your screens, folks, if you would scrub back.
Well, this is not something that I expected from Team Falcons. I mean, Troll having 3 kills to his name at this point in time. And now with the T1 at the bottom lane gonna be destroyed, and Cat9 eats a Tsunami Slam again! Troll goes in, gets himself a little bit of a heal, but Mikey picks up that kill, since the immunity for a tad bit, but Sano makes sure that he seals the deal, flickers himself forward, takes a kill on the Mikey. Now Powerful have got his back against the wall. He's literally got enemies in the front and the back, allowing Coffin to take one.
It's all falling apart. Rare Adam giving up so much more this early on.
Dang.
Compared to what they did in Game 1. Game 1 was close up until the very last moment, but here they gave up so much just so Lanaya could push in mid. Now Lanaya coming in the welcoming arms of Dawn. Save me! Sanji's on me! He does survive, but it leads not to much because down bottom there was a push as well. So Rare Adam, they're trading, they're catching up, but I can't say much more about this 4,000 gold lead.
This is a 4,000 gold lead that is going to work for Team Falcons quite a lot. Well, they need to deal with this middle lane T1 in order to get themselves more control of the enemy's jungle. The top lane and the bottom lane T1 is down already, and that's great. With the fact that Yushin went back home for a little bit, they could use that opportunity to push further.
Yeah, shrunk down to 3. That mid lane did buy some time, a little breathing room for Rare Adam. The final turtle spawning in the lower quarter of the map here. First to the scene is Boyet. Dawn dancing around, checking. Cat9 does have the Glorious Pathway on lock, thinking if he should use it. Lanaya's too far. This is the same spot he got isolated by Troll. Troll catches one!
And now another one of the Tsunami Slam on the Cat9 again. But it does seem like Glorious Pathway is going to keep him right out of dodge, and even popping up the Revitalize. Boyet doesn't have a lot of HP to work with, but it's going to be fine for now.
Caught more than a couple of crossbow bolts for Mikey, but that is all the ults spent by Rare Adam. Is Team Falcons looking for a re-engage? Can they do it?
And now the flicker coming in from Sanji, but it doesn't seem like the wall is just going to be doing too much for coming in from them. But this is all going to be quite a lot from Troll, as the Title Strike lands on the 2, but did not translate to any form of kill, as now the Wings by Wings is coming from Coffin. He did deal a decent amount of damage over to the side of Mikey when it comes to the fact that airstrike, but not enough to kill.
Wow, Rare Adam with the shuffle, leading to 2 free kills plus a turtle of their own. Definitely a power spike here for the Chinese squad. Abstract happened right before our eyes. Apparently all they needed to do was confuse Team Falcons. They made them think that we were going this way. We're committing to this. Look, all our ults are down. Come on, get us. Apparently, no, they had enough right clicks. They had enough auto attack damage and secondary skills to take down key members of Team Falcons to deny them the turtle. Amazing work. And to add on top of that, the icing on the cake, it was Cat9 who got the turtle.
Oh, it really?
It was.
Oh, man.
Oh, Lord.
Not again, as now Dawn finds himself taken down, coming from a Tsunami Slam. Another one of these pickoffs that Team Falcons is able to bring for themselves.
Twas but a stumble in that turtle pit, but you cannot deny the fact that Team Falcons are still ahead. Execution-wise, damage-wise, where they needed to be, it's easier for them to put it in as Rare Adam now try to recover. Lanaya is getting quite a bit of farm up, although he is down on the damage dealt rankings, second to the lowest. It's just he's dealing more damage to creeps.
He's dealing more
to farm.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't count that in the damage dealt ranking, so I guess that's what explains that.
We need Lanaya deals the executing damage. While Shefflin, for the side of Coffin, it's more of, bruising. Just do whatever damage I can.
Yeah, Shefflin's in Indonesia, but he did call the match, the finals between Team Falcons and Ultra Legends. They'll be in action in the group stage. But now, real quick, back into this best of 3, game 2, still at match point. Team Falcons, they are up about 2,000 gold, and you see a good chunk of that still in the hands of Sano. Troll got shut down, so there goes that roamer's dream of being the top killer, top net gainer here in this game. He gets spotted here. That is the
information.
Mountain Shocker, so that's off of Lanaya. There's still another one on Powerful.
Yes, and that is generally going to be used and reserved just for Coffin. The moment that they realize that, okay, this is going to be an all-out team fight, I know that Coffin is going to go in for defensive airstrike, that is when I pop.
All right, the dance here, halted by Rare Adam. Soft reset here. Back to full health for the Lord here if they let go. Oh, look at this position by Mikey. What's he planning?
He's going somewhere. Not necessarily, but he's really safe though.
Eugene, they don't know here.
Oh, never mind. The Purify ensures that he's not going to be locked in by the Tsunami Slam for the side Troll. As such, this is going to be propelling them into a big team fight. As now the Feathered Airstrike pops. The Fury of the Phoenix is also going to be popped and just going to be stopping Coffin at his tracks. As now Glorious Pathway sets in, pushes Team Falcons away. Rare Adam now have priority over the Lord.
That's a wash. They didn't even need to close the gap on Coffin. The fact that they stopped the ult was enough. And there's a quick knockup by the Lord.
Strike connects down on the Cat 9, and Boyad now steals the Lord right out of the nose of Rare Adam.
Team Falcons with a swift victory. Cat 9 first, and then the Lord. Didn't even matter that Coffin had a scuffed ult there. Team Falcons owning the map, turning it blue swiftly. Look at this. 4K up now.
I thought that with that priority for the side of Rare Adam, that would be the one to help them.
Oh!
Mikey! Not the way to go down, not the time.
All right, now in game 2, Sano has to share the spotlight with Coffin. Now I'm dealing damage, brother. Look at me, it's my turn now. Ladies and gentlemen, 11-3, 11 minutes in, 5,000 gold in between these two squads. Dawn and Cat 9. It's the same story as game 1, man. Like
it's the same thing.
They are just
same.
They're just meat bags taking all of the damage up front, and it's just a matter of time before this base is penetrated.
We still have the holy defenses up. Okay, I'll take that back. The top lane no longer has a holy defense up, and the middle lane as well. That's not too bad, considering the fact that it's already 11 minutes and 30 seconds. It would have gone down in 30 seconds anyways.
But again, if you're down like this and you are up against a corner, you'll take any resource, any little bit of help for you to crawl back into this game. So with Team Falcons, they're back. This is a comfortable spot for them. This is where we saw them in the twilight of game number 1, wherein they're just, all right, we'll just wait for the next Lord. We'll cover up our tracks. We'll take away farm spots for Lanaya, because looking at Lanaya right now, he's doing well, right? You would think.
But, oh man, Lanaya, I really want to see a little bit more on the pop-off over there. It feels as though they have the damage. I mean, double marksman plus the Zetian. Theoretically speaking, I would like to believe that they have it.
They do, but you know the saying, it's not what you got, it's how you use it. How are they able to use this? Because they are technically mid-range marksmen and mages. They really can't close the gap. That's what I'm saying is, Lanaya, one of his main things, his passive is, I have to weave in and out. But how do I weave in and out if I am in the threat of getting suplexed by this mermaid girl?
Right.
And this Malaysian legend, this icon in Badang. He's Malaysian, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Don't worry, I'm not going to steal that identity.
All right.
Because at the point, is it Indonesian?
Yeah, of course. So here's the thing now. Add to that, Boyet, the fact that this hero that has been owning the metagame for the better part of 2 years is back in the metagame. Lanaya just couldn't get in there, man. There's nowhere for Lanaya to go in unless he can clean up. Again, you mentioned earlier that he's the one who will put in the finishing touches.
Yes.
But how do you even start? That's the question. How do you start?
Okay, so theoretically speaking, if we want to see a start, it was Cat 9 and Dawn. It just moves in together. The fact that they deal a lot of damage in the total, in the grand scheme of things, kind of makes sense, right? But do they even have enough damage to stop Troll from all those passive healing? That's the question. So this is going to be the one where we get the answer, as the fact that Aspire is going to be popped. Lanaya actually manages to get a kill down over to the side of Sanji, so that one of the front liners gone. And Lanaya, this is a caster's jinx, man. This is where Lanaya pops in. They take the Lord down away from Team Falcons.
That was bought in for Team Falcons wrong timing. I wouldn't say the plan was wrong or the intent was wrong. It's just that Rare Adam found the very specific gap and the timing, the chance for them to do this. And did this not happen in game 1? Was there not a moment where in Team Falcons, we flubbed it, we slipped on a banana peel? But now, Rare Adam, if I'm reading this correctly, their punish should be stronger. They should have a better way to use this Lord than they could have any other stolen turtle or major objective in game 1.
As long as they're able to bring down all of the T2 turrets, I think that they're probably going to be in a pretty good spot, right? Just kind of equalize the amount of economy throughout the map. They are about 3,000 gold behind, but it doesn't seem that they managed to take down the bottom lane T2, and so is the middle lane.
Yep.
The wave clear is great.
Yep. Team Falcons know exactly what to do here. This is, again, they're very impressive understanding of macro. So Rare Adam now, their conversion rate is a Lord for a top lane at tier 2, and I guess better map control. The map is red, mind you. Now Team Falcons have to play on the defense. Team Falcons understand that they're not the beat down this time, and they have to play for another Lord in a minute and a half.
I don't know. It feels a little bit underwhelming with a 15 minutes Lord to only get one turret.
There is some scaling involved, but maybe we're expecting much from Rare Adam. Again, you have to understand that for the first 10 minutes of the game, they had nothing.
They can't do much.
They weren't putting anything out for the first 10 minutes. So now maybe they're just on their way to the up and up, and they're closing the gap, man. They're down, 3,000 gold now, maybe less than that. This next Lord might be as 50-50 as it gets for Rare Adam.
They're coming close to their peak performance, right? Slowly going in with double marksman. As long as they manages to find that window of opportunity, as well as not to be in the kill zone of Coffin and Troll, they will stand a very good chance.
I think that is step one in their comeback. If we want to see game 3, I think Rare Adam, more than shutting down Sano, more than stopping Coffin on his ult, they got to watch out for Troll. If they know where Troll is, if they have the same awareness and map consciousness as they did in that pre-Lord fight, the 15-minute mark, then maybe they stop it. Maybe they fight for another day. Maybe they go to game 3. But right now, Troll has a flicker. Troll can forcefully get there.
That's true. Flicker into the title strike, and then the Tsunami Slam is definitely the scary part. So it's kind of tough for both Mikey and Lanaya to show themselves too early, right? They do have ways to open up the map, give themselves vision. They got Fury of the Phoenix. They also do have the Mountain Shocker, 2 at their disposal, just to make sure that they know exactly where Troll is, just so that they don't lose the damage dealers too early.
So now, timing is on Rare Adam's side. They're waiting for Team Falcons. Team Falcons have to find the positioning. They're the ones working for their time, and they get spotted here. Great use of that range and the kit on Zetian. And, oh man, Team Falcons, they have to send down Coffin to take care of that bottom lane. This is not good. Rare Adam are aware of this. The wave sees Coffin.
Yeah, so the moment that they see him on the map, they are going to gun for it. But can they blitz this lot down? That would be my question, because by this point in time, I think, they already saw Coffin in the middle lane. They don't have the time, and they decided to take it back.
Troll gets spotted right when he goes for the conceal.
Oh. So now they lost one small angle from Troll. But they can still utilize the flicker.
Okay, they brute force it though. Lord now down to a fifth of its health. An 8th approaching. No more Mountain Shocker. They still do have the ult on the Pao Fu. And there's the Glorious Pathway. Troll and Sano get trapped in. Oh, Lord gets reset here. Evolves.
Not a problem. Cat 9 doesn't have a lot of HP to work with. Pop to revitalize right now, so they want to still hang around here. Well, in the meantime, Rare Adam, they do have a winning lane at the top and the bottom. Okay, bottom is kind of like a 50-50 still.
My Lord. Team Falcons taking this dance to heart. Rare Adam slowly chunking away at the major objective this time around. Down to a 2/5 of its health. Now a 4th. There's the ult. Both of Lanaya. Hold on to it.
Lanaya manages to sidestep away from the flicker coming from the side of Troll, and such they will take this opportunity to bring him down as much as possible. And unfortunately, that is not going to be a Tsunami Slam will do anything. Lanaya takes down Boyan as well as the Lord. Rare Adam, they're looking for the opportunity to fight back.
It's all Rare Adam. They take down Boyet and Sano plus the Lord. Team Falcons for the first time in game number 2, 18 and 50 seconds in. That's a full-on loss. Rare Adam, smiles on their faces, huge money in their pockets. They're up by 1,000 now, Abstract.
And that's not going to be all. They managed to force out that Feather Airstrike. Middle lane T2's down. The Lord's going to be marching in. And not too sure whether they will be able to get a Feather Airstrike fast enough for the next upcoming team fight.
They should, looking at the cooldowns. Oh, Dawn gets caught in by a Tsunami Slam. Sanji!
Oh, wait, Mikey! There's quite a lot of damage, but not quite enough to be enough to push Sanji down. However, that's good enough zoning to take the T3 in the middle.
Oh, permanent damage out the Team Falcons base. They have to defend. Lord up top is going to jump in. Goes pathway dropped by Cat 9 for Coffin to respond to their strike.
That's a T3 down right now. And Rare Adam, they are escorting this Lord slowly in. The bottom side, the bottom lane is also going to be slowly going in now. At this point in time, Team Falcons, they're going to be in a really tough spot. As Fury of the Phoenix is going to be popping right out. Sanji, it doesn't seem like he has a lot of HP to work with, but in the meantime, Praise was right from the side of Boyan. Didn't deal too much, didn't get a lot of HP back, but he's still alive, and that's what it matters.
Woo! Some minions got in range of the base. Team Falcons barely alive, keeping them waves clear. The base took about half health of damage. Team Falcons not giving up much casualties, defending, but just barely. Rare Adam cleaned house.
Big win. With all of the turrets down, this is a barren wasteland right in the bottom left corner of the map. Team Falcons now, they have a lot of problems. They have a lot of issues. But how exactly can they get themselves right back on track, right? Because Troll definitely did go for the opportunity for the Flicker plus the Title Strike combination onto Lanaya.
He didn't. He went halfway and then did not pull the trigger. Because look, he still has the Flicker now. I think he held back on the second Tsunami Slam inside the base. So I think Team Falcons, as bad as it is, I think the fact that they're remaining composure is key to them still staying alive here. 21 minutes in, another Lord spawning in the lower quarter. That's key. I think number one, Abstract, is they hold on and play to their plan. Don't go willy-nilly. Don't freestyle this. Because that's how you end up with free pickoff after free pickoff for Rare Adam. Troll here, forcing Mikey out of that brush, put down half health.
I think that this is going to be the deciding fight. Every single one of the members from Team Falcons and Rare Adam has got their battle spell. So it is at any point in time they will be able to go for it. But same always, as long as the T3s are down, you would have disadvantage.
That's right. The map is against you. Team Falcons have to deal with all this. It's taking the clock away from them. The clock is not their friend here because the waves are crashing in. Look at this Mikey pushing forward into the purple side of Team Falcon's jungle. I wonder if he knows that Troll has retreated and repositioned. Sano, very close to where Mikey is. Oh man, it's so tough. This is at the point of the game where the Irithel just beats the Granger about 3 out of 5 times.
Just completely outkites the Granger while still dealing a respectable amount of damage. And now Coffin goes for an early feathered airstrike just to push the rest of the members from Rare Adam away. But they already got their HP back, and now Cat9 start things off with a stun over to the side of Troll. He's very deep in, but he's not going to care too much. Sanji is just going to be putting himself right to Mikey. Mikey walks away, but a quick little knock-up as well as a Tsunami Slam. Immortality is going to be gone. Mikey looks for an opportunity to get out, but unfortunately Cuffin manages with a feathered airstrike. The artillery strike lands right on top, but Sano gets himself right back home. He needs to clear the lanes. He needs to clear the baits as much as possible.
Mikey for the Lord. Team Falcons could not commit to that fight full on. They had to send Sano back to clear the waves, which is a respectable game plan. But do note, Mikey did go down post TikTok timers. So he's going to sit down for as long as about a minute, now about 30. Rare Adam, I think they just made the right calls. We didn't have eyes on the Lord pit to know exactly why Boyet didn't get the Lord. There were 2 members of Team Falcons there.
There was just absolute chaos in the Lord's pit. There's too many things going on. Well, in the meantime, we also want to ensure that Mikey is right out of dodge. His positioning at the top side got caught a little bit early by the side of Sanji. Puts himself at a really tough spot as Sanji peels up for the entire fight.
All right, now Lord marching in mid. Rare Adam escorting his major objective. Cat9 drops the glorious pathway. Boyet catching a few beads from Rare Adam of both magic and physical variety, put down a half health. They do take care of the Lord quick enough, so this puts us where we were about 2 minutes ago.
Back to square 0.
Back to square 2.
Square 1.
I don't know how this metaphor works.
I have no idea as well. Where did that come from?
We're at 24 minutes, folks. At about a minute and change, another Lord spawns in the upper corner. And so far, it looks like Team Falcons have figured out how to isolate Mikey. So it comes down to Mikey using his Purify. Oh my Lord,
they want to brute force this, as now the members coming from the side of Team Falcons, all of them, the Fury of the Phoenix, as now Cuffin just going to be putting himself right inside of the base, ensuring that he will be able to artillery strike everyone else. The creeps are moving in, and we do have the core taken down by Rare Adam.
And with that, we're going into game 3. Rare Adam able to work their way into a winning position. Team of Falcons crossed the threshold, the point of no return, where the Irithel were calling out names. Heads were rolling, and it was so tough to come back. Wow! Rare Adam, take us all the way.
The late game is the game after all. Double marksman. And at the early stages, we were just thinking, yeah, they won't really have much of a winning chance because they don't really have the tempo. But at least if they are able to kind of feed and work it out with Yin's machine, then that's a good point and that's a good chance. But they just held it out all the way.
This is long-term storytelling, folks. In the span of 3 games, Amazing work by Rare Adam. Team Falcons, they could have swore they had it under control. Again, they just had, in my opinion, they had a better draft in Game 2 than they had in Game 1.
Oh.
But I guess their mistakes were so much more punishable, and the openings they allowed for Rare Adam were capitalized even more by the Chinese squad. So that's where we find ourselves now.
This is definitely going to be a tough pill for Team Falcons to swallow. I mean, this is Group A after all. We did mention that Group A is definitely going to be the group of death. And Rare Adam, they're showing up. They are showing us exactly why Group A is the tough one.
The expectations are through the roof, and they did not disappoint. Here we go, one more look at the highlights. A run-through of the game that we just witnessed from the early, which was, again, evident that Team Falcons knew what they were doing. They had a solid game plan. And then, what was that, at the 17, 18-minute mark?
21.
No, like where the turning point for Rare Adam.
Turning point. I think that's
15,
fair.
16. 15, 16?
I think it's a little bit more. I think 17 is around the right time.
And then nothing left, nothing else for Falcons from there on. They killed Sino, but...
Yeah. I mean,
they killed Mikey. They killed Mikey, and then nothing else.
this is such a tough game to swallow, definitely, for sure. I mean, this is a very late game oriented team. I'm not too sure about how the Zetian actually moves in, but having the Fury of the Phoenix is definitely going to be great, especially if everyone is just going to be completely immobile. You saw in the final fight, that is where the amount of stun coming in from Powerful can mean a lot to the entire team.
Oh, man. We were seeing play after play, moment after moment of how it was all Team Falcons until suddenly it wasn't. I think this is the Lord that, there you go, was stolen away in a blink of an eye by Lanaya and the rest of Rare Adam, and that's it. There was no turning back.
Troll in that fight played a very big part. If he actually managed to land the title strike into the Tsunami Slam, that would not lead to a win for Rare Adam. But I think that was completely on Lanaya. He dashed real fast and reacted right on time to escape away from Troll.
Eterna, how you liking them apples?
This back and forth happening here, and it's great, right? Because I think coming into this, a lot of people are thinking, all right, with that much experience behind Falcons, with Ducky at the helms as well, this should be a clean 2-0. But I mean, in game number 2, they come back for Rare Adam, and I think the execution from both Lanaya as well as Mikey, I think, was just the cherry on top to game number 2 for me.
Yeah, Lanaya held on. Right? We were wondering, when is the Yu Sin Shin going to do Yu Sin Shin things? Apparently, we were just impatient with it.
Yeah, at this point in time, we were still too used to the previous patch. We just want fights, aggression, just go all the way through. But this is a new patch after all. Games are going to be very dragged out. And this is probably one of the answers, right? 21 minutes game. The previous game is what, 18th?
No, this was 25. Game 2 was 25.
Wait, this is 25?
Yep.
Oh.
Game 1 was 19, give or take.
That's why I think it was really unfortunate that Falcons really just lost the ball there in game number 1, because technically, I like that you mentioned it, right? I like their drafts. I think it was much better than game number 1, but I think they were a little bit too passive. Not enough invasions, I think, coming in from them. The execution in the team fights were not as solid, and Rare Adam, unfortunately, with the 2 MM composition that they had, were able to scale into the late game. And then we saw how much damage Lanaya and Mikey were doing.
Yeah, I think I'll have to echo your sentiments. Maybe Falcons could have done more than just that one avenue of attack, more than just the Troll, you go get someone, and then we'll do the rest. There could have been maybe more. There might have been
like
maybe
a secondary win condition at some point.
Yeah.
Because it feels like they have been playing around Troll the whole time.
They
pick off.
They could have played their hand a little better. That's what I'm saying.
But man, Sanji for me, still so good. Game number 1, game number 2. I know they lost that second game, but Sanji on the Badang is definitely something that I think Rare Adam would like to consider coming into the next game. But of course, let's once again take a look at the highlights for game number 2 between both of these teams. And maybe we get a little bit more of insight as to what really happened in specific moments of the game. Does anything stand out for you guys?
I think that turning point, that
It's gotta
stolen
be the
Lord.
second final Lord, right? That was the second final one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
By Lanaya.
By Lanaya, yes. I think that is the pivotal point whereby they reclaimed the land of Dawn, and they have got more, right? It's starting to bleed a little bit more red in the map, and from that point on, they're slowly inching in closer and closer and closer.
What do you guys think about the Esmeralda pick? Because the boys in the back, they were like, man, we don't really like this Esmeralda against the Badang in lane. Not really sure the purpose of the Esmeralda, but...
It didn't matter in the laning phase. It wasn't a factor there. It was more of a factor to help set up Mikey and Lanaya. That's all it was. So here's one of the few times that you can say the end justified the means. Like, it doesn't matter how I got there, but the fact that Lanaya and Mikey got there.
Yeah. The fact that it worked, I guess that is what it is, right?
So it was okay at the end.
I mean, based on the game, yeah, it seems okay. But personally, I think I would echo their thought, right?
Because they were wondering, why not something like the Charizla? Why not something like the Yuzong even?
Those
if they
two
want
couldn't
win lanes.
Yeah,
right?
those two couldn't stand into fights as long as an Esmeralda can. She just keep dancing.
There you go. There you go.
So passive damage, in some sense, passive damage as you keep twirling around the battlefield while still getting yourself shields all the time. It's a little bit different from Uranus, but almost the same concept, right?
Yeah, but she has the initiation. She has
okay, yeah, that's the good part,
Falling
right?
Star Moon still.
Falling Star Moon still, yeah. It's a small little immobilize that you can play into your the Fury of the Phoenix as well. So as long as you're able to land the Falling Star Moon, that's kind of the cue for the Zetian to go in with the
By the
ultimate.
way, I mean, talking about that, Zetian finally making her way into the wild cards.
with a dub too.
Did you see the damage charts?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't actually.
She was right below. Was it the
Sano.
Iratal or the Farsa?
Right below Sano.
So
Yeah, behind the two marksmen.
that's an impressive amount of damage, guys. How do you think that Zetian fits into this patch?
I like it. You just need to know what you're getting into, and you need to know how you're using her kit. Her kit is loaded. I was watching the Hero Spotlight the first time it was going to come to our server, right, to the global server. She has a global ult. She has a stun. She has a nuke. There's literally the only thing that she doesn't have is mobility.
Mobility, yeah. I think that will only be one of the main, the only problem. But at least she does have ways to zone people out with a field, right? And the field, you can move it once. Deals damage, continuous damage, plus slowing people down as well. I think that kind of offers you that mobility in some sense.
And I think her passive is also quite valuable.
Ah, yeah, that's
Despite
true.
the cooldown being
120
seconds.
Yeah.
It's a long cooldown, but
It's a little.
It helps against Assassin, I guess. That's probably that one moment, your second win.
Hey, maybe it saved them from troll more than once. It's possible.
It's possible. Yeah.
Maybe we
There
wouldn't
it
be
is.
here if not for that.
exactly. So maybe Zetian will finally make her way into the next game. If we have to talk about drafts, did anything feel weird for you guys?
Same for the Esmeralda, no. I think all the heroes were where they needed to be. And even the Hylos, I'll tell you now, even the Hylos was like, oh, here's that Cat9 thing. It worked. So who are we to say it shouldn't be there?
I mean, at this point, this draft, both teams, I'm pretty okay with that, right? As an ESP, as an ESP player as well, I can see why Uranus and Esmeralda are good in their own regards. They may not necessarily provide a lot of utility to the fight, but it's all those very invisible damage coming from them that you least expected it. Yeah. It's really you least expected it.
But what would Falcons have to do to be able to take this game into their hands?
I'll play tighter.
Don't
So
lose.
it's completely execution.
Yep. Just play tighter. They had all the tools in game two. I don't think that was to be debated. It's just play tighter, play better, play faster.
They had all the answers to deal with a beefy frontline, which is the Hylos. The moment that they bring Hylos down in the early to the mid stages of the game, there's really not much the opponents could do. There's not much that Red Adam could do aside from sending an Esmeralda in. Which by that point in time, I think it's fair to say that Tsunami Slam would have been off cooldown as well. So you would have that 5v4 advantage already. They could slowly and always getting translate those kills into a win in the lane or some new objectives.
But it looks like after all is said and done, we are going to have to leave it to the players to figure things out alongside with the coaching staff for sure to see who will be able to take game number 3 in our opening match of the day. So with that, before we head in over to game number 3, we are going to go on a short break. You guys are watching the MSC Wildcards. We'll be right back.
Guys, just trust me, okay?
We just have to follow the MSC history footprint.
Is MSC here? As in Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
Why are we trekking through the jungle?
MSC started off in the tropics before it started to take over the world.
Yes.
Oh, guys! This symbol, it matches the Cuban frequency. I think we're getting close.
You guys hear that? The format is calling me. I can feel it in my gut.
Not your guts.
You just skip breakfast.
Guys, look.
8 different warriors, all from distant lands. One sacred path.
Oh my, Japan is back.
Oh, 8 teams drawn into 2 groups. GSL format with BO3 matches, but at the end, only 1 team advances.
We have to find the next piece first, because then we get to write the story. Imagine it. LaFelle's MSC 2025 Fury Pro Max Plus. Ain't that good?
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
It's okay. I got this.
What's that?
Great Scott! It's the group stage format! The MSC 2025 group stages is going to consist of 16 teams broken into 2 groups, each group balanced and regionally diverse.
So all teams will be drawn into 2 seeds, and teams from the same region can't be drawn into the same group.
Groups will then play a BO3 double elimination. Teams with a 2-0 record and teams that survive with a 2-1 record will then advance. 8 teams will then fight for the ultimate glory.
Is this still a group stage or a group elim stage?
Well, it's kind of both.
It's the best of both worlds.
Maybe we're intentionally lost.
Oh, you mean like the time a strong team lost to a weaker team? They claimed it was a strategy to go down to the lower bracket for a more dramatic comeback? Yeah, that sounds right.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, look! That seems like a shortcut to the finale!
Perfect! Now we can start the final format before they even get here. Let's go! Brigida, let me teach you something. When you see something shining, you smash it. I found it! The sacred format ahead of everyone else.
LaFelle!
From now on, you can call me LaFelle, the great format discoverer.
LaFelle! I think you broke the format.
Oh, we can still fix the format. Thank goodness I'm not with you this time. Don't touch anything else, LaFelle, no! Let's look at the knockout stage.
The MSC 2025 knockout stage. 2-0 teams will get to choose which 2-1 team they want to face.
Will the 2-0 teams just pick a weaker team for a better matchup?
Or they could just fight a tougher team just to flex.
The real question is, which team gets to choose first? Most game wins or shorter game time?
We're gonna have to wait until we get to Riyadh. Until then, let's have a look at the playoff bracket.
Quarterfinals and semis will now be best of 5. Oh, and there's now a best of 5 third place clash before the grand finals.
Final best of 7 to crown the ultimate champion.
There you have it. The MSC 2025 format, wildcards to glory.
Yes!
Hello guys, welcome back. Game đó mùng mai on jealousy. Nakana lady gay. Ay thola ba ni ubro? Tabro guys. Nakana lady gay. No haro sa mamda dito sida.
stay here. As we
Guy
look
that's
at
Lurage, bro.
MSC
Game set ye, bro.
wildcards at
Sila
EWC
ye.
2025. But the big question is, can the challengers in Rare Atom be the team to take them down first? Once again, back on the English broadcast with me, Eterna as your desk host, alongside with once again Leo.
Horsey.
As we get into game.
Life Horsey.
Game 3. I didn't expect that. We kind of talked about the possibilities of 2-0.
Nurse, guys.
Whenever we see good teams in wildcards, kind of show the unexpected. And Adam, game number 1.
Ay, voice tabre yung ano.
Game number 2 down.
Voice fazla na tabre yung guys.
Not expecting the peppering of Spanish there. Just like how we're seeing heroes like Esmeralda, how we're seeing the Hylos in Rome. What is this? This is a Rare Atom, rare flavor.
I wonder what other surprises that both of these teams have ahead of us, because we are going to take a look at the drafts. It looks like both teams are ready. So
Matangi match ho draw ba ni ko?
take it away. Take us into game number 3.
Ay na stream tayo di pong mamaga min fu mo kisure.
For all of the marbles, for the chance to say we just need one more series to make the next stage of the wild cards. Falcons on the play. Rare Atom answers
Tai.
back.
Tom thin share tau se. Facebook ki jam da share tau la ne tom ne ai ki gaming group da share tau la. Facebook lo na view down chale.
They did it right the first time, so they didn't have to change much. But look at this Rare Atom. They switch it up. Remember, they banned out the Uranus and the Baksha in game 2, but now they're like, how about we mix it up with the MVPs?
Change again.
Yeah, the key picks for Falcons in game 2 and game 1, the Matilda, the Kalia.
Yes. So right now, whatever that worked for Falcons, even in the slight tad little bit, they have to find new ways to play the game against Rare Atom. It's constantly evolving and constantly changing. We're now looking at the final ban over to the side of Falcons. So maybe you can hear me?
Share tau se Falcon pogre. Falcon loi gro ba. Ji ken ni to kanang ka karke. Ayu ho dre. Kanang ka karke yung ne.
I'd say maybe it's not Lanaya.
Kanang ka karke yung.
I would agree. I would definitely agree. Big mechanic plays from Lanaya time and time again. In fact, the musician is available, but they have decided to opt for Boxia.
Okay, you know what? It's Rare Atom on the play.
Yes.
It's Falcons who are answering back. Okay, so the Baksha here, which is again most likely going to be in the hands of Cat 9, and that is what we saw in game number 1. Falcons, though, they got 2 picks coming up. I'd reckon the Granger, one of them, the Granger.
I would like to assume that having a Badang in the team is
1-1 kanagre. Okay, sina hum su match ni ko de dia.
Badang
Decider match ne ba.
Rowan or XT. So going in for that and not at all.
Alright.
Not at all.
They're willing to trade for it because the Irtel's still out there, so they can do that. Instead of the Zushin to answer the Baksha and the Uranus.
Okay. So it doesn't really quite say anything for now.
And I'll tell you now, I don't think Sanji's much of a Uranus. Watching him play the Badang, right?
He's a very engaging. He's the playmaker.
Exactly.
But now he's just
Uranus is a slow
the
roller.
annoying guy.
Yeah, Uranus is a slow roller.
He just play your own game kind of thing.
Here's the thing. If I know anything about Sanji, he's an engineer.
He's an engineer.
Sanji's a very smart guy. He's
Like legitimately an
yeah,
engineer.
like a real life engineer.
Okay.
Yeah, so he sees how things plot out.
He's trying to decide that it's going to be a roam box, yeah? Yusunjin and Kimi. So Kimi... Okay, so at this point, like, even Kimi can either can win or
That's right, but 9 out of 10 times it's thrown into
Bunch
That's right. So we still don't know exactly who's facing off against Sano's Ranger. That is indeed locked in, so that's not a prediction.
Ngasi so live thabro brother thai bro si se karam batana meno bro World Cup ne e-sport ki World Cup oi dine.
Falcons to ban that first hero in the second phase. I'd recommend
Nagar se bata me Facebook tan kana khana le ge Facebook ki jo comment kha tok sanar one. Are na ka khre ka de si West of 3 ni anduna aje Falcon ga are ga tawti do isi de hose.
it's possible, yes.
How would that work?
It's very possible. I think if you're greedy enough and then, you know,
It's very creepy.
you can stretch it enough to the point wherein you know your opponents won't force anything on you. You can survive to like the 18-19 minute mark, like Falcon 2. You're fine. You're gonna get away with it.
They will need power spikes in the early and the mid game.
But this is a good read. Look, Falcons, they ban out Esmeralda. They ban out one of the few heroes that can actually stand up to the Uranus.
Fair.
By I'd say that's one of the key ways you can get away with a 3 marksman lineup.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So if Esmeralda is taken out, what are our other candidates? Like Iris?
Sure, if Dawn is feeling it. But here's the thing. Dawn likes to live in your face, right?
Yes.
The Hylos, there's times where you don't want to live in your opponent's face.
Indeed.
But if that's a last choice for you to get away with the 3 marksman lineup, then so be it. Look, here's one I would say, the glue. They're reading into it.
Okay.
Coach Ducky, Falcons, they know that Dawn is the key here. It's the linchpin to the 3 marksman lineup working.
Okay, so there is no midfielder for Rare Adam to play around, so even if they want to be very aggressive, they don't have a way to get out.
Ain't no saves, sir.
Ain't no saves. So if they do want to pick up an XP laner, it needs to be someone that is flexible enough to engage and disengage at the same time, probably. I don't think there's anyone that can do that at this point.
Arnold's still out there, but I don't think that's the right answer.
Yeah. They need someone beefy, someone tanky, someone to really do the work.
They can throw the box over there and then pick someone else to go to roll.
Karam naka dijano khang de view se bak lo 1 lay haju je ena 5 lay ai thu bu do dai nga dang mang do to kin ni you down chali
If they can't win in the early if they can't win in the mid thing here, then Ashes can just heal them all
Oh
up.
my lord. Eugene, it happened. Triple marksman. Confirmed for Adam. There's the Moscow. So what's the
kala na pai ya askimine yishin ne kimina mes yishin adagi Moscow ma marksman ahum ni taw dar ka di je
X. Oh,
When was the last time we saw Rome Hilda?
okay. Hear me out. I don't like this, but
Me neither.
Uranus Jungle
Really both.
and XP Hilda might be the way that they're gonna go for it.
Right.
But Lapu.
Oh, nice
Oh.
one, baby. In
and
Riyadh.
out.
There's the Angela. Okay. So mid at.
Oh my God!
hold
It
up,
actually gonna
hold
be
up.
in a way.
Okay.
So the Angelic support goes up to the side of Falcons instead.
No. Is that a jungle Uranus thing?
Yes, Jungle Uranus. Right?
Okay, I'll do you one better. Triple marksman. Say no more.
That's the
Is it though?
I mean,
It is. They're still going to shuffle this up. It's
Yeah.
still going to change up.
it will change up. Yeah.
So it's a jungle Uranus, Rome Angela, XP
XP Hilda. So the XP Hilda will be a pain in the butt for the Lapu. It's definitely going to be a late prio for the Hilda, but how exactly are they going to keep up with Radiant stacks?
And here's the thing. It's all in on Saudi again. Saudi gold. Going for the home run.
But it
Close up
worked in
the
game one.
series. Just like in game 1, exactly. Here we go. With a triple marksman set up by a Rare Adam, all for the 1 win. Halfway through to make it to the next stage of the wild cards. Welcome to game 3. Rare Adam, they definitely have the momentum.
Facebook ki se ma'am Facebook ki se like nam din se Facebook ki se like nam din se guys
But in this wild card, technically it's not because the
like nam ga share talks se guys
them in their own respective lanes.
Absurd is the name of the game here. Very few times will I say, I actually like the triple marksman.
Facebook ki se comment talk sa lo troll ga man la troll na te World Cup ni har ka ne ba na
Oh, they're on Sanji.
Facebook akoi YT ju view ne me Facebook so view ne me am ta yaman na taw si da na
Matchup, Mike versus Sano.
am ta yaman na taw si da na
Not much on Sano, but,
YT gi na hauze 450 views kitang yau da ngai ri
I am the future of this
am
game.
taw guys gi na
You quite literally have the range to kind of deal with the Moscow.
Uranus na amuk hyper taw khale Uranus hyper taw ro si ja
Definitely going to be fine, but
se gai re he
I think that Team Falcons, they are on a timer. They're definitely going to be on timer. And by 15,
It's over. Like, you have to have won by then. Look at this, folks. If you're going to be playing Jungle Uranus, result of this match pending, you're going to want to look at Buoyant's build here. That is the common emblem, extra health, seasoned hunter, and then imperial. Like,
Okay.
This I heard that it's been making rounds on socials. Like, this
specific emblem set.
this abomination.
Not only you hate it, I know that Gideon absolutely hates the Uranus as well.
Hey, don't hate it till you don't knock it to try it, bro. Puffin forced to use a flicker, saving himself from a roaming duo from Rare Adam. Dawn holding it down. And boy, it starts up the turtle early.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know exactly how Rare Adam is going to play for this turtle, but as we see, we do have Powerful actually managed to get himself the turtle at this point, and we do have Coffin that has got a hard gun on himself, but it doesn't seem like that will be allowing him to get away as Powerful takes first blood.
Team Falcons, they just had no damage there. It was a play for self-conservation. Like they just wanted
Facebook Facebook ta kana like yo si ma'am
oxymoron. Isn't that
like nam salo share dog salo
they want to win by a certain point, but just the same, they can't do anything to a certain point.
This is
tàu này chứ Falcon sen này này khăn người về thì cái tụ fight tàu kịp đấy tìm mà lo khát tới rồi mà không đi được đi không ai tàu của nó cái bộ thì mà I don't know man, but let's see how it goes. Mẹ ngasi bữa đi Restream chứ ha mà thà bữa đi na फजना नियम नीति जे खंगद्रेको अदो हयेंग दगी आई नै रखे हे सो तने रखे
and Team Falcons may even not be able to meet that power spike to go 50-50 against Rare Adam.
The window might close even tighter.
Yeah, to the point that it might even be non-existent.
It's tough. Team Falcons waiting for this next lord to spawn. That's Turtle to spawn upper corner. It's getting closer to Sano. They sent Troll over to babysit him. This is so antithetical to even their style.
But to be honest, right, having we know that Angela is known as the like first blood, right? Crazy in the middle lane, as long as you're able to kind of get the puppet string tattered in, you more or less get a kill. And not to forget, you also have a Hilda who is super busy in lane. No matter how much you touch him, it's not going to matter for him because he's going to get himself right out of the fight as long as just going to weave in and out of the brushes. But I say a little bit wrong now as Todd picks up a kill onto the Hilda. It's going to be an all-out fight coming in from the side of Rare Adam. He's just going to be engaging themselves on the Team Falcons and Lanaya picks up a kill. It's almost going to
Facebook ta white da Facebook ta mi kun manga white da mi trying foi ma'am adu yam khalala se stream ni dum thaga de na ma'am akhoi gi viewers yam masna maruni na
you see what they were going for. We are going to last into these team fights a good 10-20 seconds, get stacks on you via Ionic Edge, and then maybe Troll throwing out these love wins should be enough. But from downtown,
it actually hit
all the way, but underneath tier 2, I want to take that even if I was ahead, which they are. They're ahead. They're about up 2,500 gold. They start up with Turtle, but it's odd. Team Falcons, they still want to contest this.
They're not afraid of anything right now. The triple muffin is working even in the early stages of the game. Well, in the meantime, Cat9 rolled up over to the side of Sano. They did manage to find a nice stun over to the side of Boy. Yet he's tanking a lot. He's got a lot of radiant stacks. He won't go down that easily. Or will he? As Don is just going to be putting himself right into the face of Coffin, he's just going to be finding himself in a pretty tight spot. But he's going to be fine. Sano though, burning a tad bit, but he's walking back home fine.
5 minutes into the game, 2 turtles in, 5 kills scored.
Bro, matches could ning vote to hon che do na ying ba don wai yai to lu ge do ga do ai matches could ning ge pool sim se ya bazala settings chat moderation bro ya diye
The flight path. It's just
pool sim ba ya ga dai na pool sim ya ba pool sim ba ya de ne na bo
they've been taxiing and they've been, teasing their
ayo for should be ling wa ya ro ho jite che ling wo de ba ka de ne ba
not taking off. They're trapped inside their own base. Their own side of the map. Look, Sano has been pushed into the tier 2. I need to give credit.
Ma'am, like nam drip sing like nam ziko share out drip sing share out guys game se nuai han je do hayeng budai dum pol sem ya na ko na bu mai try taro ke guys
But he would only be a lot more annoying in the mid stages of the game. But for now, he can't survive against Dawn and Lanaya combo, even with a hot guard.
To be fair, the hard guard did come in maybe a second too late, but I can't blame Troll because he's also not getting farmed.
Not at all.
His shield isn't growing. The extra stats you get from items aren't benefiting Team Falcons. So there's no one to blame here. It really is just the mechanics, the logic, and the kicks don't add up for you to answer what Rare Adam is doing.
We are already. Oh my goodness gracious! There's no brushes around for Sanji to play around with, so we gotta have to go home. We're looking at a 6,000 gold lead in favor of Rare.
cái nó mong rồi vào guys
Bottom lane. At this point in time, I think I'll say skip.
mà mong mồi da mong thì ai
Just get the launch. And try to. Oh, actually, they don't need to. They have triple marks. What am I talking about?
Rare Adam can afford
yeah
their choice.
Yeah, like don't need to care.
yeah
6,000 gold.
bro saksa bro saksa dri okay bro next day in oh yeah ne em wa ta ne de message sakai de ni
Maybe I
Falcon down in the heat of the fight. Dawn is just going to be getting himself as the greatest warriors. He's going to be making his way in over to the side of Boyan. He doesn't have a lot of HP to work with. Mikey! He is just going to be relentless, throwing all those spears over to Team Falcons.
3 turtles, 8 kills, 7,000 gold between these 2 squads. After, you know the definition of the word insanity? This. Keep forcing it, and I don't know what they're looking for. Oh wait!
Dawn! How is he alive on all of that? Team Falcons did whatever that they could, even pulled him underneath the Tara's nose.
Rare Atom are pushing the tier 2s. Team Falcons are still building up at 8 minutes. At 8 minutes. Here's the thing, at least Boyan ain't still have a lot going. At least Boyan ain't giving up. You know, at least Boyan is still saying, yeah guys, we can fight this. We can be here to contest, but he's how many levels down? 2 levels down.
Facebook kiti comment kanam lakti ko YT kiti mi akrami try man sugre Uranus celebro sak Uranus se kana ka duman gya je rare tom na mini pa haraga team Falcons 0 la USD pra like different level la khenare ha bai me hum pa chal laga na ma katika I he nahi de nahi mo got through guys like so bro next level gameplay to chale ha ba Beacon! Man, my city I stream because I'm putting it hard. I got them have the like, for example, like can I say, like 4 hours minimum. I hang day hold the book over to a them daytime the gig. I don't see what they do. My pung mari subuga the mutala game. Live share has a photo punga firing and pungani the fire pungani wali. Nippon Mapanda, Taratrama for about the Tani hang they them daytime. The Chaman another more heck on them how them Tara again. Reverse Swift Toxale, the Nazi, rear tom necessary Gidra, them Sangra, neither to the man. Shit to the near. Quality you can name Asia. Ma'am, no, the Mayak sing the Brion.
Continuing up to the fight, he's still trying to get himself a little bit of stealth and going on. Even will go down to the flicker. But now, Rare Atom, they are just going to be chasing it right up over to the side of Team Falcons. Troll is going to be the next one down for the count. With 3 men down already, Sanji is looking to be not too healthy, but he's home.
Bro. Man, game today, YT is okay. View yam khale, Facebook yam ma'am like namjala share toxin je. Facebook ta zo ma'am YT di ngi sing do YT do ming view ko. Yara ga di Facebook tom ta changa ma'am ta share ta bom toxin view gera. Sanga ma'am share ta Facebook ta toxin bi mo do YT dong lo YT gi mi kunum do chu re. Facebook di ho je hai hai na ni mi ko. Ma'am singa la ta share ta toxin view su ni yara ga di. Huh? Yare, pero Ma'am saksa ke camera mo thatke ko. Camera mo thalaga idum saksa ke wadi dum nga ke ma'am ke comments dum parake. Ado ma'am dum comment piro fa ga ni. Share 29 show ro ni hoi tom thin nong nom ko siu share to ni. Hai dai kui re da na ina kana to ma ngum do gi ni da. Ma'am nong nom Facebook ta la ai na YT gi dum ma'am la i da na Facebook da nga city gameplay to ro do ki ai nga city gameplay di to ro ye. Game no focus to ro ge. Saksa ge dum game sana na guys. YT gi di ai na mi do masing hengal e Facebook gi jo khoi gi chuna we lak na ba. Saksa sana rake ai comment so dum tarang gani ai voice dum tang chili kano na nai gi dum ma rare tom na nai gi dum ma le da guys chili rare tom na kha tau gi dum ma le mo ko to wai ro share mo ko to solu su Facebook ge kui de pung ani su da le mo ko to solu hai de Facebook ge mi chang ma hen ga da ai na mara break you da no hu ga sa do gi Nai is World Cup, moi eSport World Cup the Falcon you 13 won the fu gidra ne. Adum piro sida. Kunna dum sa lor.
There's a universe where this works. This is a marksman game. They want to play late game, but this is the fastest game yet. Yeah. There's a universe where Falcons win, but not against triple marksman. Not where your opponents expect you to do nothing.
Nai gre ne sida. Me am mukbang so to siro live tha na. Mukbang sun toro ai bra.
Let me say, they are greedy. They're not winning early. They're not
Guys, mukbang sun toro ge lai tha tha na.
The perfect storm. The triple marksman just wanted a lineup that wasn't going to get in there.
Kango ne.
Early on, that wasn't assassinate him.
Okay.
And this
Kango ne sa ne dum nakan dum local agi ha.
again,
Mukbang sun toksal agi ha ngasi de. Tawra bane. Okay, thank you. Yay, content yare yare. Mukbang toro agi ko.
maybe not against the triple mark.
Natraga camera am thala sa sira mukbang sun to zira haro.
let's throw in our lovely Deskos here. Were you watching that? Did you see
Ay ngasi
what
di
we just witnessed? Were you watching the same game?
mukbang tok dara agi. Dalam sing balay. Okay. Welcome to the stream.
Man, I didn't expect this, but let's go. I mean, it took them a while.
Yeah, brother, guys. Yaro. Mukbang se
Just everyone really
tau gadab sing ngasi di hingjang haw ti ko. Ngasi di hingjang haw ti ne irong basa ga dauri bani ne. The yang ngasi.
Wasn't the brightest of choices. And
Mukbang to se. Mukbang to da mai sadar agi haw. Haw man dure yo. Bro, dami mukbang do support to biramo. Dami mukbang nang su mukbang hor bo dami. Wai lo gano ne. Tum na to or sing ne ta.
About 80% was untouched. 80% was
Se.
untouched, but
Mayam aham basa home stream mayam de injuroi ki haidara injure haidara illa se.
Crimson Beacon in
Yang
forward,
di chau jadi ko.
trying to get kills on Dawn, on Cat9 getting the punish.
He had a tough guard as well, so they were banking everything on the cup and hopefully that they have a good amount of control. But unfortunately, they just couldn't do it.
That's the one thing they did not have, Eugene. Control.
Oh,
tough. It's tough. Again, you're talking about how the draft unfolded before our eyes, right? It's like a roller coaster where if your stomach falls, right?
How to man ba?
Your stomach
Guys.
and it never goes back. Oh no! They're doing it!
what a way to open this.
Hey, you mentioned this last night. We were studying, we were prepping, like, all right, guys, before we wrap, real story, folks. Yeah, this is real. Before we went to bed, Eugene was like, what if?
Let's talk Uranus jungle.
Camera da u da bra. Ino hook ba ya?
It can work, right? Uranus War Axe increases the magic damage from the basic attack, so it's really passive.
There was a purpose.
I would have
Ma'am.
much appreciated
Instead of photo.
instead of not photo. He went for brute force.
Oh, instead of brute force.
Yes, instead of brute force. Oracle just outright allows you to be aggressive.
You know what? I would prefer that they didn't choose it against Abaxi.
Okay, not fair.
Or a triple marksman.
Or
Because
a
Or
triple
triple
marksman at the end.
Nang chinglerm da na kaya.
It unfolded really unfortunately, I think, from the home ground heroes here. I think that was the whole story that we were trying to set up, with them having more experience going into this match, with them having the home crowd advantage. But Rare Atom, challengers, less experience, so many questions about communication, their synergy. They made it, they did it. So it's pretty crazy. Already an amazing way to open things up.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take a little nostalgia road down to that entire series. Let's take a look at the highlights for game number 3 between these two teams.
much as I'd like to look back, I'd rather not. Because again, it's a lot of Rare
Ma'am,
Atom
si mahal di hai kana di ha.
And, okay, to be fair, Team Falcons tried. At least they didn't just roll over and take it, right?
Yes.
They were like, all right, bro, go get it. Put radiant stacks on yourself, and then cough it, go for it. But it always just ended up going
Hindi.
almost. It's just
Facebook ki ai mai kano di hai mo hook da ya.
Or different tactics throughout the game. They normally would have, Sandy rushing right in or Boyan just kind of hanging around. But
Lo la ka sai de na di camera sin na ni. How to man bra? Se.
we need to use the lantern flare and we need to use coffee dominant aggressively. Shields. And we hope that we'll be able to get everyone flying up in the air and then we'll
Something
go
higher.
But in hindsight, it looks like you were using the right tool for the wrong job. It's just like, this is all we have. Let's keep going.
It's all about trying.
Just keep trying. And to be fair, Dawn's performance in game number 3, amazing. I'm not up.
Oh, yeah.
So game number 1, we really didn't see much from him. Game number 2, we got a little bit better, but as soon as he was able to pick up the Lapu in the third game, that's when we really saw his impact. So
At this point in time, I think that the whole team have got their own rights. But honestly, yeah, I think Don.
Sa Tom 10 lang ita
He's one of the really important angles.
Don is the one.
dark horses of wild cards, dare we say?
I couldn't say otherwise. I wouldn't call them favorites just yet. We just met them here on the international stage. But they clearly aren't underdogs.
Oh,
They
yeah.
know what they're doing. They are a real threat when you give them the chance to show you up, and they are one win away from securing the next stage. The top 4 single-handed. Good work, amazing work. For Team Falcons, back to the drawing board. I think they showed a lot of good fundamentals in game 1. Some points of improvement game 2. Yeehaw! I'll tell you that much.
Well, do you think it was primarily just draft problem, or was there like execution?
Here's the thing.
Build I
There
live
wasn't
open.
much of a chance to analyze execution much because of how the drafts were so polar. They totally missed each other.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Restream live
What
open
do you
though.
think? You agree with that?
I think it's
Sabi
kind
na
of
iko
like
though.
I'll say that it's a combination of both, right? If the draft were to go another way, then their execution will be completely different, yeah, right? The moment that they have the US over to the jungle, then they have a very set way of playing, especially since
Ngasay yam lamban eh. Ado ni ay natuubay na.
this, especially that.
Hello, what would be the minimum sound count requirement for flying?
They are willing to
There's nothing like that, bro.
But
There's nothing
remember,
like
boys
that.
and girls, Group 8 is not over. We gotta
But I think the time is already over, bro.
our first match, but we do have our second match up and coming between Legion Esports and the Mongols, the featured match of the day. But before we get into it, we are going to go on a short break. So we'll be right back and don't go anywhere and stay tuned.
Then how to man, bro?
This land is calling.
Camera mo thot la jero na traga. Masai pung kaya dai da tharai no da ai kui ram ne tha pung ani su ram ne. Ai na stream thai pung ani su ram. Pung ani ma khai pha rồi. Kai mà theo nó bây giờ. Kino mà nè. Kino mà sao thì Can you share me link or guide me so that I can try for future? Yeah, bro, just contact me. Nirupama, hello. Say Nirupama ibitta sa uwang tanga ko kasi. Ma. Oh yeah. Iba mahawi eh. Kano na kaagre. Hoy kano na. Team mama kano to. Rare dragon na ba kayo? May do kayo ba? Rare tom. Rare tom na kaagre guys. I'm coming here from live. Then I been cheating like said guys. My high no ham ni minang mo Instagram. Ako'y sung ngasi tungan yang kung wasari mo yung do tandilak na. Hawaii na hobby ni today.
MSC wildcards here at EWC 2025, and here it is, the featured match of the day. A little bit of rivalry brewing in between these two teams. There's some history there, but before we get into it, we're going to introduce everyone on the desk because it looks like there's a little bit of a shake-up. It's still with me, Eterna, as your desk host, but on the other side here we have Leo and...
Yeah.
Who's that?
It's none other than Gideon Q.
Oh, it feels good to be here. Eterna, things are looking great here. Obviously looking beautiful as ever. Not to mention a beautiful stage to come alongside with it. Leo, you already saw the first best three. I gotta win this. A little bit of what wildcards stop, but I'm hoping that this next featured match, again, two of these teams I'm very excited for, might change up what people might think about wildcards currently.
Roma man now, ang man now, again, Dawa man.
We were talking just yesterday about how volatile this match, and not this match, but this meta and this patch truly is. And we're finally getting to see a lot of these teams start to kind of maneuver around it, experiment with it. And of course, we're all for that kind of entertainment. So coming into our second match of the day, once again, Legion Esports from Vietnam, as well as the Mongols from Mongolia. Let's unpack this.
Give them a little
bit of a trailer. I said there's a little bit of history brewing there, a little bit of rivalry brewing there. So I think you guys can explain a little bit more about that.
Okay, so geographically speaking, and historically in the realm of MLB Esports, these two teams meet maybe once in a blue moon, right? But in their ranked games and in the most recent World Championship wildcards, these two
Chạy trái nó em hậu nó mà lại bây giờ cái chạy lỗ sâu lỗ combo như thế này.
If you look at it, that's the first time they get to Vietnam, right? Yes. But since China
Sâu lỗ mấy em sâu lỗ.
So these players are very familiar with each other's game.
Absolutely. And if we're talking about international meetings, both of these teams, I mean, especially when we're talking about the Legion themselves, this team has been together for a decent amount of time, but they've also, as you mentioned, bumped into ranked games, met on international stages, and still have not found that.
Rồi đi nó mà sao hay tiền cái gì không được. Cái hay tiền.
But maybe those of you guys back at home are wondering, what are the matches ahead of us after this second match? We're going to take a look at the quick. Match number 1 done and dusted. Best of 3, 2-1 for Rare Adam.
Toàn cái sai vậy nhỏ ham mình.
In the day, we're going to have Zeta from Japan going head-to-head against Influence Rage from Latam. And to close things out, once again, Curtis Pro from the EWC region going
Oh, yeah.
match today, there's a reason why it's at the top of the list. For me, I'm really excited to see veterans battle it out against each other. With Mongols especially, really happy that the region is
Yen yung matong sa hit ya.
find its place in the MLB competitive region. Especially
Chogri wo di lo.
is put together with Megong, but at the same time, to kind of break out from that big trifecta.
That's right. They are now known as the Vietnamese.
Ay nga sa de tom tin.
They have their own league, EWC, and just to add a little bit of spice to
Sabi ni
their
sa'yo.
development as an
Sayaw
MLB
yun.
sports ecosystem, they now have their own. For the first time, I think in a while, Legion have employed the services and talents of people in
Ngam ko sa hamong ge.
and
Ler mo.
Cram God in the role.
Ay dum la tam ni ko sa hamong ge ler mo.
It's been a bit of a what do you call it? A tour, I think I would say for Mr. Crambot. Been at SG, been at Vietnam. But oh, look at this! It looks like the draft's are ready. So Gideon and Leo take that.
Here we go. It's going to be Legion on the play while the Mongols answer back. Meow! And Abuyo leading the charge here. Some familiar faces, some bands that we've seen in the previous series. Gideon, Phobius, Zushin, very strong still, as shown by both squads earlier today. And then there's the Wanwan. We haven't seen Wanwan in play.
Absolutely. I think everybody understands that Wam is high mechanically intensive she is. The payoff is just a little too good. That's testament to what the current meta is asking of us right now. High burst potential, high playmaking capabilities. But then now the big debate is going to start. Because if we learn anything from our previous best of 3 series, tanks in the jungle, very, very powerful, but there needs to be a situation, a scenario, and better yet, a setup for the early to mid-game to make it actually work.
And that's the story of the previous game we just witnessed. In case you missed it, folks, we just saw Uranus Jungle make a showing here in the wild card. And there's a few of those boxes that we can tick. That's why that game didn't last very long. That's why there wasn't much success for Team Falcons when they employed that strat. So now, Legion Esports still have a few utility or tank junglers left out there. You still have the
Lai guys. Ay lai. Oy.
left out. Baksha got banned here by the Mongols. Second to the last ban for them. Matilda out of the picture now. Puyo can still take out a few key picks. Lancelot got banned every single game in this first series.
I do feel like it's a little specific to
Draft
what
hole como.
teams, right? Depending on the information that they get from the scouting, they need to know whether the opponent is a jungler has high, well, at least a high execution. Win rate in
Nga de su baksa de lao ko ni su senel ma hang do si. Ai ma'am aina training to hun do kanara ani. Bro nga sa dra ngari di saram do ngari di kam do na sai ngari sa di bro ngari sa di
nothing much you can do about that.
so sa di ai rom sa di hoi do bu no ma do ka sa da ado si sa di na ai chau ko na ti ai di hawaii wen sa sai
I don't think you would.
na sinima ba ba na farak pa nga thongi ko di maru ata
Coach Ducky gave a green card.
ado yen no paru hoi adra ba yen do para ga di yen no sa ya ma de
Who's to say that they wouldn't pull the same tricks? This does get at the
Tanem pa
Mongols'
de
psyche, though, right? Like, oh no,
yen
there's
sao
nothing
ni yarak
else
tak no
they can
sang
do with it. Coach Buyo has to double check everything to make sure that this is not coming out of left field. Coach Sabo, folks, this is Coach
bro
Sabo.
first subscriber ai no oi de ne
For
ai first subscriber ni nang no oi ro
the Vietnamese squad in Legion.
ngai jal ne
In charge.
tay nào sun này ni này ro ne mu ban to ro
If you play the Uranus here, this early.
nga ne hen mane ha ko
I mean,
ha
you're not just flex it,
how
just flex it.
Okay,
You're
alright.
forcing your opponents to play either Esmeralda or Tyros.
I'm not gonna lie, if I was in Mongol's position, I'd be scratching my head too. It's
Exactly.
like, do they actually want to flex it into the jungle in the first place?
It's like playing red and blue.
Exactly. But in any case, you still play your own game, right? Keep true to
Facebook
the
cái cái nào
tactics
lấy
you
chứ
have.
nam lấy
Go
vụ
for
vụ
the
tình
veteran alongside with
hồi
the
for
team.
sinh cái gì đó
Now,
pang na sana kung may
flex
swal
it.
laga dum tha
How
ka
do you
ja
deal with this team? They've already got a
anh
really
anh có
strong
bằng
front
xin
line,
năng sĩ
right?
thuộc
That's
vào
what you need
it's
to
okay
do
hey
early
no
in the
father
season.
thada loi
The
timing
only
sab
way
san
we're trying to shut down on it is whether we have strong
Pat
side
cái đi
lanes
bro
or at least an assassin
nga
that
father di
can
use
like
pa
aim
usu
and
ya
get
de
like a Hayabusa.
ado kano nga ya ai grass cup ti try ko hai cái gì mari mga ang ka ta so di ho we ai di labu to ka loi na to nang mai pa tai fa si tom sen se video ko sana re na du ga hai me am ai nga si sa da ri ga sen sa ri sen na dum to hon de ne kai ni sana phang de
One of the junglers out of Mekong now rep.
mai da no ai Natte bro tom tin gi channel gi hai bane okay tom tin gi ai du dei joi du ni ngi ba ni ta na ta mi ni first subscriber kana oi ngam tho na ta ni ne du de is me am ai man mom yaw le me si de pham ni ja ado ai di smai di noi dri bani he ado no yo mi su game chana bi ai sen
Honestly, I'm pretty okay with this. With the use
sitting outside bro maru ma ta maru do ha ni ni sa ga da ni ne
really, really dangerous and forces a lot of Kimi players now to really consider taking a purify in case you're going to get
side book thal le he sile tum ni nge me am live tha ta tum na ba yong na dai ai tum ra
damage when it comes down to that. Maybe less gets flexed down to the goals, then maybe we have a different story.
The Mongols, they have a flex, if anything. With the Kimi, we don't know. Even if 90% of the time you see the Kimi going to go, alright, interesting. We quell all doubts.
Yeah. At least they're being really honest with their draft. They're not looking to flex too much here, but they are bringing up a potential pick in the gold lane, Bruno. Now, Fox.
Yeah, right, bro, man.
Based on what I've been hearing,